No, he's just out of the closet.
Oh yeah. All right, welcome to this episode tonight of the Live Well Thursday night edition here at 8 p.m. As always, we're going to have an absolutely fantastic show for you guys. But before we get into this, we want to, of course, thank our title sponsor for her outdoor apparel, Peyton and Jennifer. They do an absolutely fantastic job. They have some great clothing, great articles of hats, and all different kinds of stuff for the men and women. Not just, it's only women. It is for her outdoor apparel, but it also has some great stuff for the men and the kids. So check out For Her Outdoor Apparel, created for women by women. Go to www.forheroutdoor.com, or you can come in here in the store and you can check out a wide selection of their products that we have here. And tonight we have the one and the only Mr. Tim Hawkins here in studio live right here with us. So Tim, Danny, take it away, buddies.
All right, there you go. There you go. All
Man,
right,
on the spot,
Tim
Hawkins.
Listen,
Right he
just threw you right up there
That's
first thing. So
it's all good.
Anyway, hey guys, thank you for joining us tonight here on the Live Well. Again, as Ryan said, we do have Mr. Tim Hawkins of Hammonds Fishing in the house. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to talk a lot about the digital tournaments that a lot of guys are interested in. We're going to talk about the industry, whatever you guys have in the comment section. You know how this show works. We're going to let it flow. So a couple of things. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You don't know how important hitting those like buttons are. Make sure you do that. And it lets YouTube know that you like what we're doing here. So
hey, turn them notifications on.
That's right. You got to turn them notifications on. So anytime we drop new content, as Mr. Hawkins said, you guys will know. And so another thing too, I want to thank you guys, all the support for our show on Waypoint. First episode came out this past Monday. A lot of you guys sent us a lot of great messages, thanking us and saying it was a great job. We appreciate you guys. Got a new episode dropping next Monday night, 9 p.m. It's going to be Montana. I'm going to be in Montana fishing the rivers out there. So you guys tune in right there and join us for that. And again, make sure you follow us on all our social media, Instagram, TikTok, everything's at Fish North Georgia. So again, if you listen to this at a later date on iTunes or Spotify, hey, we love you guys too. But it's going to be a great show. Can't wait to see all your comments in there. They're going to be popping up here shortly. I don't know why they ain't popped up yet, but normally they're there. So they'll pop up. Maybe we've got a small delay going on tonight. But again, thank you guys. So again, our guest tonight is Tim Hawkins. And so Mr. Hawkins, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
I appreciate
great.
it. So
got a couple of beverages. We're doing good.
We're doing good. We got the cold brew going. Ryan, is everything up and on? Because I don't see anybody.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with the. We actually have comments, so I may actually have to read some of these comments off.
You might have to read comments because they're not showing up in our section over here.
Tonight.
But hey, look, it's all good. You know how we guys.
But I'll be reading comments until maybe this figures itself out.
Well, we can do that. So it is what it is.
Technology.
Wonders of technology, and we are a couple yahoos from Marble Hill, Georgia. So it is what it is. So other than that, let's get started with the conversation. So, Timmy, everything doing good? Everything going well? Everything going well?
Great. Yep.
How is the tackle business over at Hammonds?
Well, school started. So,
yeah,
you got your big lulls in the morning because all these kids are back to school. But, I mean, it's pretty steady. Like when it rains, it's great because all the construction workers come in.
I love rain.
Yeah, rain's good for business.
Yes, absolutely.
Just not on the weekends.
Right. I understand that. You been fishing lately?
I have.
I heard. Yeah, so how's the fishing on Lake Lanier right now?
Fishing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think me and Emil dropped a pretty big bag yesterday.
Right.
For August, we had 20 pounds, our best 5. That was stupid.
Yeah.
It was a good time, man. We had 15 or 16 or 17 doubles. It was an amazing day. It was fun to be on the water. It seemed very surreal.
So what is it about? I always like to ask this question. We all know Lake Lanier is it drives the fishing industry here in North Georgia. It is the lake. It's the lake. So maybe in your own words, describe for somebody that's listening that doesn't know Lake Lanier. Just describe it.
It's just a big, deep, clear lake.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of humps, lots of shallow water humps. You can just watch on the news. You'll see somebody hitting them.
Yeah, no, that is. Watch it.
There's a lot of idiots out there.
Unfortunately, yes.
We deal with that on a weekly basis, it seems like. It's just it's a great lake to be on. The spotted bass fishing is great. The largemouth fishing is coming back big time.
Yes.
I get to watch all the videos, not all of them, but I do watch a bunch of them to make sure everybody's doing their stuff right. And man, the amount of largemouth being caught right now is that's different.
Yeah.
It's different than it's ever been.
Yeah. So we've had that conversation where, and Ryan thinks, and I might be right, might be wrong.
Here we go.
Ryan thinks that because when the lake went down, what was it, 2008, 2009?
2008 was down 22 feet.
Yeah. That kind of kick-started the largemouth back into.
Man, I think, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with the lake staying high for as long as it has been. So, there we go. Hey, come on and get that.
Whoa, there we go.
There it is. Come on with it.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I want to get you a little more centered, so we're not sitting
there.
Now you look a lot better right there. So
no questions yet. So.
You got what now, Ryan?
No questions yet, but
yeah,
everyone's people are commenting. A lot of haze.
Okay, a lot of haze. So, guys, normally on our side we can see the comments. So, for some reason tonight, Tim and I can't see it.
Ryan's he's not doing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. So we can't see the comments. Ryan can see them on his side. So you guys bear with us. Normally, if you're on this side of the camera, you can see the comments and we can answer them. So we might have to do this a little bit differently tonight, but we're gonna power right.
We can listen to Ryan.
I'm not real sure what's going on with the comments.
It's very interesting. It's always something. It is Marble Hill, so it is what it is. So let's go ahead and one of the reasons we brought you in tonight was to talk about the new concept of the digital tournament. But let's start from the beginning with the digital tournaments that you're doing currently right now. Explain to somebody how that kind of works for those that don't know it, because it's a pretty big hit on Lanier.
Yeah, it's a big hit. When MLF kicked off, I had an idea. I knew it could work, but I didn't know how to build software. So I went to my buddy Brian Hinkle, and we spent probably 200 hours building this website. It's a web-based app, really, and just building it and trying it out, building it, trying it out, rebuilding it, trying it out over and over and over, trying to make it user-friendly as much as we possibly could.
Right.
So that was the whole deal, just trying to do something to emulate MLF style deal, because everybody wanted to do it.
Yes.
Everybody sitting at home always dreamed like, man, I could be that guy.
Yeah.
I could be that guy.
Yeah.
Everybody can see me doing it. Well, that was the whole concept behind it. Just try to make something local that everybody could see you fishing every day. Because you're always sitting at the house going, man, on a Saturday, man, I bet Mike Shepard's catching them. I bet JJ's catching them. I bet such and such is catching them. When they come in, they got 20 pounds. You're like, damn, I knew it. I knew they were catching them.
Right.
And now we know.
Yes.
Now you know.
Because you can track it throughout the day.
It's tracked all day. It's tracked all day.
The cool thing about it is it's an app-based system.
It's a web-based app.
Web-based. So a big word right there.
It's really, really easy. You just take that little button on the bottom and you hit it and say add to my home screen, and boom, you're done. It's that quick. It's that easy.
And the cool thing about it is, especially in the summertime, you're not putting fish in the live well.
Yeah, it's all about fish care as well.
Yes.
So a lot of it come from the want to be that guy on TV. But as we started doing it, it turned into, man, we really need to get this done before the summer. That way there's no tournaments during the day. We can run digitals.
Yes.
We could run digitals. It's going to save the fish.
Yeah.
And man, that's really what it's more about these days than anything, is the fish care.
Yeah.
And I take this fish out of the water. I take a 15 to 25 second video and I put him back in the water, and he's right back at his home. He's living.
Yeah.
You put him in your live well and you ride around for 6 to 8 hours. Most likely he's not going to live.
Lord, we did a TikTok about whether people should have fish in their live well, riding around, all that.
Yeah.
A lot of different opinions on that,
Yeah, a lot of opinions, but let's be honest. If you go run about 5 miles and you come back and you can't breathe, because that's what happens every time you catch a fish.
Yeah.
And then I throw you in a hot room.
Yeah.
You ain't, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna make it.
Right.
So Thomas always used to tell me with the oxygen systems we have, he goes, run down Ingles and come back. He goes, would you like me to put you on oxygen or throw you in the cooler?
Yeah.
Well, you want to get on oxygen.
Absolutely.
So, that's really the thing. You're killing these fish, putting them in the live well for the most part in these hot summer months. And some guys are really good at it. Some guys are exceptional at it. Some guys spend almost as much time taking fish care as they do as fishing. They'll stop at marinas, get extra ice and all that stuff. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. But not everybody's doing that, especially all these high school tournaments, man. They don't know how to launch a boat, more or less how to take care of fish.
100%.
So,
and that's the big thing is, guys take the time to, they spend all this money on a boat and everything, but they kind of often overlook their live well, their O2s, and not taking care of the fish. But the cool thing about this tournament, for those of you that do not know, is when you catch a fish, all right, you reel it in with this app on your phone. You take a pic. You basically have to take a video of you holding the scale at 0.
Yep, 0 in the scale out.
0 in the scale out, hooking the fish up.
Yep.
On the video, showing the weight, and then one of the things is you have to show it being released
into the.
So the cool thing is the fish never once touches the live well.
Typically, you're allowed to fish in your boat for no more than 15 minutes, and that is just for the doubling up purposes.
Yes,
but literally, they're like I fished with Emil yesterday. We had fish. We never had more than one fish in the live well, and the only time we had a fish in the live well is because we doubled up
because of the wolf packing of what spotted bass do.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So then you take the fish, you release it, and then you upload the video.
Yep.
And you're sitting back at Hammonds.
Yep.
And you're watching these videos.
And/or fishing.
And/or fishing, right? And you're watching these videos, and then you basically say, okay, that's a legal catch.
Yep.
And then at that point, you hit it, and it shows up on their score weight, and you're able to keep a running tab.
Everything's calculated, and I can do anything from unlimited fish to 1, 2, 3, 4 to as many as you want. So like this past one, we done the 6 fish limit.
Okay.
Just something different.
Trying
to switch it up.
All right. Hey, Ryan, are you getting questions on that side yet?
Believe it or not, nobody's actually really asking questions. So
okay, so everybody's listening right now. So
I would say right now everybody's just listening.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
But I am chatting with people on this other side over here.
Good deal. So like I said, you guys keep commenting. Ryan can see you over there. Tim and I cannot on this side. So we're a little handicapped on this side.
We're not real sure what's going on tonight, but it may be something.
It says an error has occurred.
On our side, it says an error has occurred on YouTube, but that's okay. But you guys if you got any questions about
I got a question.
You got a question. Let me finish this. If you got a question about the digital tournament, or again, anything regarding Lake Lanier, what's going on, make sure you put it in there, because we're going to ask Tim tonight. Nothing's off. I asked him nothing's off limits other than what he is especially catching fish on, and I understand that.
Yeah,
you got to protect that little bit of secrecy. But
that's right.
Gate. You know what we found out? Do you know what the term of that is now? Have you heard the term gatekeeper?
Okay. Yeah.
See, I had never heard of it, but
apparently
it's called gatekeeping if you don't tell all your secrets. But we're not gonna. We're
gonna do some gatekeeping.
Yeah, we're gonna gatekeep a little bit. I understand. You got to respect the process.
We're gonna talk to them. But,
you got to respect the process.
Yeah, we got some BFLs coming up and stuff like that. So you don't want, man, you don't want to just sit in here and just blabber everything out. But I mean, there's certain ways that we're catching them, and not a lot of guys are doing them, and that is what it is.
It is what it is. You got to get out there on the water and find out. Put your time on the water,
or book a trip, stuff like that.
Absolutely. So
it makes a difference.
I did not know that this generation has changed English. Catfishing.
Yeah.
To me, you say, "Hey, let's go catfishing."
Yeah.
Hey, I'm throwing some chicken liver on the bottom. But apparently it's acting like, it's a totally different terminology. So we heard gatekeeping this week, and we were like, oh, Lord, what in the world's gatekeeping? But again, you run those just to basic tournaments. We're going to get into the Derby, but the basic tournaments are just every week pretty much.
So I switched over and started doing 12 to 5s. 12 to 5s, I'm getting more people come out.
Yes.
It's just easier for people. And let's be honest, it's easier for me. I don't have to wake up as early. I don't have to be at the stores early.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I can fish a couple of them. Morning times are usually good work times for me, so it's hard for me to fish those. So I will be fishing a few of the Wednesdays. I moved it to Wednesdays because Wednesdays just work better for me.
For some reason they do.
It is what it is. 12 to 5. You do it any longer, people can still get off and go to church. It's all good. So,
exactly.
That's always been a big deal when I ran Wednesday nighters. At a Charleston or Little Hall or something, you missed out on a lot of boats because of church. So, that 5 o'clock threshold is that was in thought of the church going.
Yeah.
People.
The cool thing about the the digital, I guess that's the way we're going to say it,
Yeah,
digital
digital
tournament
tournaments. Yeah.
is, and I fished a couple, is the leaderboard is updated as people catch fish.
Absolutely.
I know I told you about.
There is no sandbagging.
There's no sandbagging. I fished a tournament that morning with a good buddy of mine, Brett Matthews. First 3 casts, 3 fish, had 11 pounds, and I'm like, this is great. And then the rest of the day,
Then you guys were up big too.
we were up big quick.
You were up big quick.
Quick.
I remember that tournament.
And then
'Cause I was like, look at Brett. Look at that.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it was Danny.
Look at you go.
It was us. It was the
Yeah,
rock
you guys
crawler.
are killing it.
You guys got to throw the rock crawler, Spro rock crawler. But regardless, then we watched people pass us the rest
Yeah,
of the day.
that's
It was
it's
tough,
nerve-wracking,
man.
but some of the better people out there, they're not score tracking.
Oh, I
all
can't
day
help
long.
it. I was, man.
But man, this is not easy not to do it, man. It's you want to know. Like
Yes.
the whole time we're fishing, I mean, I'm looking in a mill and he looks at me and I'm like, yeah, we got about a 1 pound lead. That ain't gonna cut it, buddy.
Exactly.
I was like, but we go catch a 470 over here and it's gonna happen. And we pull up and catch a 470. It's like, all right, that closed the door. We took
Yeah.
a 3 pound lead with like 15 minutes left. That locks it down, in my opinion, because that's gonna be tough to come back from. But man, that score track and watching this, I do it at home.
Exactly. And even over here at the shop, when you guys have a tournament, I'm paying attention to it. And like you know, like we talked earlier, a lot of people are watching.
Yeah, we get around 1,000 to 2,000 different IP address clicks per tournament. There could be 8 people in the tournament. People still want to see it.
They want to see
they're
who's
curious.
catching what. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, not everybody gets to go fishing on a weekday.
right.
Not everybody gets to go fishing on a weekend. So
Mhm.
they're always just curious. I mean, it's the same reason we tune into Bass Nation and everything else, you know, MLF. And it's the same reason we do all that. We're just curious on who's catching them. Because you can usually, like, let's say Ryan, Emil, Little Paul, you know, everybody's got their strong points, right? So you're looking back, you're like, yeah, they're eating on brush today for sure.
Right.
Or, man, it's a cloudy day. Ryan's smashing them up shallow, you know, just, it's fun to sit back and think about what other people are catching them on.
That's the
That
fun
is a
part.
fun aspect.
That is what I do.
And I'm
personally.
guilty. I'm just like you.
I know what a lot of these guys are catching them on, but I'm still going, I bet he caught that one on a fluke, or I bet he caught that one on an underspin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to watch.
That's the cool part about it, is seeing that live update, watching guys, especially when you get within the last hour, you know, and you want to know, all right, are they going to hold on? Or if you see a guy get a huge lead and you're thinking, what do they catch them on?
Yeah. I had a guy literally yesterday that we kind of was like semi running up the lake against, you know, and we're just like hitting places, and we'll see him go hit a place, and he's watching it and he's fishing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you guys are killing it, you know, and like, that's fun, because even though he's out there fishing, he still recognizes all these boats out here, and he's like, oh yeah, man, you guys are doing great, you know, and stuff like that. So that's fun.
So with the technology being in place right now, why do you think that the larger, you know, the elites and all that don't go to something like this when it comes to fish care?
I really don't understand why everything's not digital,
Yeah.
because it's not good for bass to be in a live well.
Yeah.
It really isn't. You're taking them away from their natural forage. They're having to relearn stuff. That's if they live. That's if their mortality rate's not 50% to 100% every time you drop them off at Laurel Park from the dam. You know, they've been beat up all day. I think everything should be digital. But you got a bunch of guys that just don't like it. You got a bunch of old guys that just will not get into it.
Mhm.
And it's not from the fact they don't know how to use the phone. They just want to put a damn fish in a live well.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It boils down to really just that. Like, I'm not doing no damn digital bullshit. And that's the deal. You know, and I've got tons of friends that are like that.
Right.
Guys that I consider good friends are just like, I'm not fishing no damn digital, that nerd tournament.
Nerd tournament.
If he's watching this, he's going to know exactly who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Damn nerd tournament.
So I understand that. You know, the kayak guys, you know, they've got a thing where they measure and they do it by inches, and then they release,
which is fine.
Which is similar.
Which is fine. But man, I've fished a bunch of kayak tournaments, and even with the kayak tournaments, man, some of these boards these people are putting them on are hot as shit. You can literally burn a fish putting them on these hot boards.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of guys will dip them in the water and stuff
That's
like
a
that.
good point we have never heard before.
Yeah,
here on
a
the
lot of
show.
guys will dip in the water because I fished them.
Yeah.
A lot of guys will
kayak
dip 'em.
guys in the comments. Right
A lot of guys will dip them in the water and try to cool the board off, but that board's still, if it's sitting out in the sun, it's still hot as shit. It's still really, really hot, and it's just not good for them. I got a bunch of guys wanting me to do striper tournaments now, just for the simple fact that they can have this fish weighed and put back in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Versus having to lay them down, all their slime coats coming off, all their scalers are coming off. They're having to keep their fingers on them. They might just get disqualified if they keep a finger on the fish.
Right.
Some of the kayak tournaments you can keep like 3 fingers on it.
Yes.
They're
very
these
picky
striper
on
tournaments.
some of
These
these guys.
striper tournaments. Have you ever tried to keep a 15-pound striper still
No.
to measure it and you can't touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's a pain in the ass with like a 2.5 pound spot.
It is,
Just holding it on that board. Its mouth has to be shut.
A 270 spot is probably one of the hardest fighting fish.
Yeah.
Per
Hell
pound
yeah.
in the lake.
Yeah.
Man, we caught a bunch of them yesterday.
I bet
it was
you
fun.
did. I bet
I mean,
you.
every time you hook into one, you're like, oh, it's 3.5, 4.
Good.
And it's a 270.
Yeah. How many times have we said good when it's a 2
Good.
Oh,
pound?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am the king of the
Then
2
you
pound
see it
spot.
and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
That's a 2.5 pounder.
But that brings up an interesting question. And before we get to talking about the
We have a
new
lot
format.
of questions now.
Oh, we do have questions.
Yeah,
Well,
have
Ryan,
a
let's go ahead and pop
lot
up.
of questions.
Okay, let's pop off some of the questions because
You
again,
can go
I
ahead
can't
and
see
Hey,
keep
them.
going. if you want to.
give me one of them kayak guy questions.
I've got one.
Let's hear all those guys.
I've got some coming. Don't worry.
Go
Don't
ahead and
worry.
start popping some
All
of
right,
them off. Ryan.
all right. So this is going to be up. I'm going to leave the camera on Tim here because these are all
Yeah,
direct
put it on
towards
Tim. Don't put it on me.
So,
Perfect.
all right, here we go.
You're on the hot
Bring it.
seat. You're on the hot seat
Bring
now,
it.
baby.
So like I said, so for you guys, I have this up on my phone right now. We do not know why the comment section is coming, but please, I'm sitting here watching this right now. Please comment away. I'm getting to them.
Man, he's
as
back
fast
there on the
as I can.
switchboard
He
handling
is.
business.
I'm
He
trying.
is.
I'm trying.
Man,
So-
he's typing 100.
He's ugly,
100 words
but
a
he's
minute
smart,
back there.
man. He's great.
No, not at all. So, all right. So back to Tim. All right. So the first question, and this is I'm gonna say who it is from and something. Derek O. He says, "Is this something you can do solo, like with your phone in the cup
Oh,
holder?"
No, so
no.
we don't allow solo because I have some guys that are kind of decent at it, but 9 times out of 10, most people are not. They don't have the camera angle good enough.
Yes.
They don't know that the glare of the sun is hitting the wrong way. They didn't turn their boat right, so I can't see the weight on the scales. It didn't show the fish being released. So I just don't allow solo people doing this. Now, the kayak world, one day, that might work for them. But as far as these digital tournaments, it's going to be a team deal for the
Yeah, because you have to have that second person to do the video.
Yeah, you need to be pulling in and out. I want to see the whole fish and the whole scale, right?
Yes, right.
And then when you call it, you want to come in a little bit, and I want to make sure that weight was right. That way I can see on my end if it's right. I want to double check that. And then as you're releasing that fish, you got to pull the camera and you got to pan away. All right.
Yeah.
So
And you
now-
have to see the fish being released for it to be a legal catch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I've deleted many fish. So if they're like, oh, I went to go delete it, I went to go release it, and then it didn't catch it, can I still count it? I'm like, no.
No.
And I've deleted fish and then texted them and said, hey, listen, man, that's not going to count. You've already got your warning. That's the deal.
So what do you do
So-
during a normal tournament if that happens? Do you tell the angler, listen, you did this wrong.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to count it.
I tell them when they sign up,
Uh-huh.
you mess it up, I've got a video on this and a video on that. If you don't do it like this, you'll be getting a call. And if you don't do it right, I'm sorry. Like, it's got to be fair across the board.
Okay, yes.
Well,
Everybody, it has to be fair for everybody or it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
and
think
there's a very
people-
particular way to do it.
I
Yeah.
don't think people realize that, you're doing these tournaments, but even though you're doing these tournaments, you are the tournament director. So
Yeah,
it's no
exactly.
different than a traditional tournament director.
There
The
has
final
to be,
thing
there
is up
has
to
to
your
be an
discretion.
authority figure in this.
And
or
you
we're
are
just
it.
going to get away with everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I have a couple of kids at the store that I'll let do that as well, just because I've taught them how to do
But
it.
they know
it's
the
not-
rules.
It's literally not hard though. Let's
Yeah.
not overcomplicate this.
Exactly.
You are literally holding a scale,
Yeah.
clipping on a fish, and releasing it on video. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It can't get any easier than that.
For you guys that
You don't
have
have
the
to call it.
yeah.
The app does it for you.
Right.
It's so simple.
If you guys have a flip phone, this is not for you.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay,
This
it's
is not for the
you
flip
if you
phone,
got for a flip phone.
generation.
Who
I've
still
had some
has
old
a flip
guys.
phone?
Hey,
There are
listen,
guys that
hey,
have flip phones.
Trust me. It's a lot more than what you think.
Absolutely.
Can you buy a flip phone still?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Have
can.
you been to Walmart lately?
Yeah, right. So again,
Obama phone.
so the basic for you guys, the basic of a digital tournament, you catch a fish, you get the fish up, you got a guy filming it, you show the scale at 0.
Yep.
At 0, and you have to
that
see
way it cannot be manipulated.
cannot be manipulated.
Because if you take a scale, all right, Ryan, put me over here.
Yeah.
If you take a scale and I see pro after pro after pro doing it, and it drives me insane because I put so much work into figuring out what scale is the best and what do we need to do. But if you take a scale and you lay it flat and you turn it on and then you pick it up, that scale is going to read how much ever your clip weighs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be off up to a quarter of a pound sometimes.
Right.
So if I was to take my scale and lay it down and turn it on and I got a big white clip on it like I like to use, it's 0.27.
Yes.
All right. So you got a quarter pound on top of it. So you want to make sure anytime you're picking a scale up, do not turn it on until you have it held just like this.
Yes.
Okay. Hold it just like this, turn it on. Because when you turn it on, it's zeroing the weight out.
Mm-hmm.
That's any scale, period. And I see so many people doing it wrong. And I'm like, man, no wonder you can't call like that. Because you think that one's 290, but it's really 262.
Yes.
You know, and that's just, it's painful to watch all these pros doing it too. I see them all the time. I'm like, that's not how you do it. They'll literally take a Rapala scale, hold it up like they're supposed to, grab the scale or grab the clip, pick it up so there's nothing on it, turn it on, and then they let it go. And I'm like, well,
shit,
that's a quarter pound.
Got a quarter pound right there. Okay, yeah. So
Okay, all right. So
we're back. We have comments on here all of a sudden.
Hold on, scroll down.
Oh yeah,
scroll down real quick and go to Derek White. Go to Derek White.
Is it Derek White or Derek?
No, it's Derek White. Go down a little bit.
Keep
down
going
to Derek
down.
White.
Keep going down. Keep going
Keep
down.
going down.
That's all we got.
Maybe
up.
up.
Right
Just go to
now.
Derek White. He nailed it.
There it is. Well, it says Paul Driscoll right there. So is that Paul?
That's Nerd Tournament right there.
Nerd Tournament. Oh yeah.
Well, Derek kind of took the words out of my mouth with what I was going to go with what I was going to say earlier. So I'm
now
not
you
gonna,
can see how it normally
I'm not going to
works.
go back up to the
It's all
top
good.
because actually, Tim, you actually answered a lot of these questions, but there is a question right in here from old Buddha. And this is a good question.
Didn't
and I
Nathan
think
just
you
have a
need to-
birthday?
Yeah, he just had a
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
Happy
Nathan.
birthday,
We love
Nathan.
you, buddy.
So Nate, I've got some other questions, but Nathan had a great question right here. Have you ever had scale issues? And if so, do they have to go get another one from you?
That's really easy. Everybody goes out. I check every scale before they leave. Okay.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. Okay. If it doesn't, I grab another scale. All right. I have had issues. All right. But I send everybody out with an extra set of batteries just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've always got a set with me. I can run down to the lake and meet me at a dock and replace them. It's really simple. That's not a problem at all.
And normally it probably is never an issue.
I've not had an issue. I had an issue last week, but it was a minor issue.
I know we used them during the Beasley tournament last year.
Yep.
And the only issues we ever had was guys not knowing how to do it. So the
All right,
scales
how
were
can
fine.
you get the app to follow the tournament? If
That's
you
Doug
were on
Phillips. That's Doug Phillips.
If you
Doug
were on the
Phillips.
Lake Lanier tournament page,
Going down.
I post on that thing constantly. It's hammondsdigital.com. It's really simple.
Yeah.
And it's on, if you're not a member of the Lake Lanier tournament page, just become a member and you can follow it. I post every single tournament. It's everything.
Is that Scott's page?
No, that's mine and Carrie's.
You're in
created
Carrie.
that.
You do
Yeah.
Lake Lanier. Oh,
Yes. And
absolutely.
Scott is an admin as well. So he is one
That's
of our
why
guys.
I thought it. Okay.
Yeah,
there you
Scott,
go.
thank God for Scott because he loves to delete stuff. So
He's
is a
deleted me
blessing.
before.
Yeah,
And
he's a
I'm friends with
blessing.
Scott Barnes. If you're watching, don't ever delete. Our wives work together, man. Don't do that.
Oh man.
That's cool.
He's
What you got next?
He's a great moderator.
He is he not? I love Scott.
I got one more question up here that we definitely want to talk about because this is actually a conversation that I've actually had with Scott on the phone a time or two. Actually, me and Scott have talked. I'm sure you and him have talked about this as well. Is Tim/Hammonds considering this style of tournament with Scott Barnes's trail?
Well, me and Scott have sat down and talked about it, and a lot of his trails are not in the summertime.
Right.
He is a huge, proponent for, fish care.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't do much
He
in
doesn't
the
do
summer.
anything in the hot months at all.
Mm-mm.
So, Scott's fished many, many digitals. He's won a few himself. So
Yeah.
there was a couple of them I saw on there. scroll back up.
We
Real quick.
really got overloaded because
We got overloaded.
It's all good.
It's
all
all
good.
that.
It's all good.
We don't
Keep
normally
going,
do this.
Keep going. It said something about. Keep going.
You know what the beauty of this show is? You can take off and I can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You got the show, Tim.
Go ahead and do that, buddy.
It's
We
your
got it.
show.
All right, sandbagging right there, Justin. All right, so sandbagging
Justice,
Hey,
right
Justin.
there. So we went over this before, but you're allowed 2 fish in your live well for no more than 15 minutes. And that is just in case you catch a couple of fish, like back to back, or they're schooling or something like that. You're allowed 2 fish in your live well for no more than 15 minutes. And I had an angler that caught 2 fish, but then instead of weighing those 2 fish, he fished again, and I penalized him for it. So when you weigh in 3 fish in 3 minutes, I mean, I'm not an idiot. I know what's going on, but it's just if you can't pass the polygraph, you're not going to get paid. So there's always the threat of polygraphs. One of my good friends does polygraphing for the FBI, so I will pop a polygraph if I feel like something's not done right. It's that simple. Let's not be crazy about it.
Let's ask this question right here because this might get you fired up.
All right,
How
right
much
there,
longer
Steve
will the
Pinkston.
digital last?
All right, yeah, Steve Pinkston. I think a lot of guys just like the attention of the scales. Can't flex on video. Let me tell you something. I have had some awesome reactions when people catch big fish. They're so fired up.
Yes.
When they're weighing these fish in, man, they're so fired up. Even myself, I caught that 476 this past, yesterday.
Don't be sitting there flexing on us.
Dude, it was hilarious. I'm like, look at that one. I'm talking, and
You do.
nobody's watching it.
You're right.
Hinkle might be watching it, or one of the kids moderating might be watching it, but I'm just talking to the camera because I'm fired up.
Hell yeah.
And dude, everybody gets fired up when they're weighing in a big fish, man. Everybody.
I think that's what's cool about it.
When I think Tracy and her husband, they caught a big one. I think they had big fish a couple of weeks ago. Fired up.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Derek's got a great solution to that. There it is right there.
You could log all the videos and throw them into a highlight section on the website. Then they get their flex.
Oh man.
Maybe that's something we can work with.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I got shit to do. I got a life. I'm not trying to create a YouTube video section. So man, I can.
So maybe we can work with you on that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
listen, dude. We could definitely make some highlight reels.
That's what's cool.
And then talking about this, of course, more people are going to start doing that. They're going to be like, oh yeah, we got to mess with Tim.
Yeah,
we got to mess with. I know Tim's going to watch this because what I do is I watch a lot of videos in the morning, and I make sure everybody's weighing their fish right. I don't watch every single video. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes.
But if you get in the money, I watch every single video. So if we do a no limit fish, or whatever it is, unlimited over 2 pounders.
Yeah, and you change that every so often.
I'd
like that.
love to change it. I love to flip it out because listen, some guys are really good at catching 3 big fish. We won't name them.
Yeah.
All right. So, and there's a bunch of guys that just love to catch a bunch of 2 pounders.
There you go. That's me.
It's usually different people
Yeah.
that are in the top 3.
I say I am
do
the
a
king of the
largemouth
Lake
only
Lanier
tournament.
2-pounder. I can catch the 2-pounders
well,
all day
you need
long.
to fish some of the unlimited stuff because it's fun. Those are fun tournaments, and it's stressful, man. When you see yourself down 6 pounds and you got 20 minutes left, that's stress. You don't
It is
know the
stressful.
stress. You don't know the stress until you get in that position. You're like, oh, I forgot how to fish.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I like about it. And again, going back to that one day, in the lead early, and then the stress of watching people pass you the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Then
you start questioning, is Brett a good fisherman?
It's a different kind of stress. It's fun. Listen to this shit.
I know Brett. Brett's probably not watching live because he's on his way home from Maryland, but he will
he's
come
on a
back
plane
and
right
watch
now.
it.
That's why I took that jab.
That is funny as hell. That is absolutely good.
So
again, now one of the things about this tournament that I do like is you pick your scales up at Hammonds.
Yes, sir.
Then you can go to any part of the lake
Any
whatsoever.
ramp you want. Any ramp you want.
Any ramp you want, and then you turn the scales on at a designated time.
Yep. I can do it from an app. I have an admin side on my app,
Now,
and I just turn it on.
I'm going to ask you this because I've heard questions about it before.
Okay.
It's kind of an honor system of the before.
But isn't any tournament?
You're right. That's what I wanted to say. How do you approach that as far as the honor system?
There's been you pop them with a polygraph. You scare people with a polygraph. We just went over it when you're using the bathroom because you're
my
an old
bad.
man. All right. I will pop a polygraph if I feel like I need to.
Okay, good.
But I'm watching videos. I know if it's on Lake Lanier or not. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's not been an issue.
Yeah.
The issue I've had
Uh-huh.
is I had to, kick somebody out of all the tournaments because they were fishing early.
Oh.
And I make this very clear. Very clear. If you have lines in the water before, like a lot of times I'll make you send me pictures of your live well if I know you were fishing that morning before the tournament. So it's all honor system. That's fishing in general.
It is, but I like that you have the balls to do that.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, but
I've
know what
kicked
I'm
people
saying?
out, and I've had people, one particular person, he got in my face, like all up in me, like telling me I'm not gonna talk to him like that. I'm like, listen, dude, you cheated in a tournament, man, with your kids. Like that's not gonna work with me. That's not gonna work with me.
But
and you knew, because I looked at that particular person first thing that morning and stared at him and told him exactly that, because I had heard that he had done it before, and he'd done it that tournament. And I had 2 different boats send me videos of him fishing and weighing in fish before time.
Wow.
So it happens.
Yeah.
But you're eventually going to get caught.
But see,
that's any tournament.
That's the thing with being a tournament director is we get a lot of wishy-washy tournament directors in a lot of these tournaments that if they're friends with the person, they let it slide.
So if anybody,
what I'm saying?
If anybody has ever fished, I've ran tournaments for 15 plus years. If anybody's ever fished my tournaments, that shit does not fly with me.
I'm so glad you said that.
I don't baby you because you're my friend. You're not going to get a better boat draw. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and come up here to sign you up. You wasn't here at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's your fault.
Yeah.
It's just because we're friends doesn't mean you get a better boat draw. You know what I'm saying? That's
Good.
not how it works.
Well,
that's not how it works. And it's got to be fair for everybody. That's the way I've always said it. It's got to be fair for everybody. I don't want anybody having a leg up just because they know somebody.
That's good, because unfortunately, we've watched even in the pros where certain guys get away with something, other guys get DQ'd for something.
There's a lot of local tournaments just like that, buddy. And I don't fish them anymore.
Thank God you do that. I mean, honestly, that's
anymore,
good. I like that.
I've weighed in fish for tournament directors that are wish-washy like that, and I will have nothing to do with it.
Perfect. Real quick before we get on to the next section right there, when we talked about the Derby, Ryan, let's shout out Adams, our sponsor. Go ahead.
Go use
it's a good bathroom time.
That's why I'm going to do this. So that's perfect. Hey, we want to talk about Charlie Adams with Adams Renovations. You can contact Adams Renovations LLC at 470-505-3412 or email him at adamsrenovations20@gmail.com. Charlie Adams, he will, if you're looking for any kind of remodel work, any kind of new build work, whether you want a like you've been really putting off building a patio or something in the back of your house, or you're really wanting a fence put up or something like that and painted, Charlie, he'll take care of you. He'll do you good work. He's honest work, straight up, right from the beginning.
He's a good dude.
He's a good dude. Yep. He's a fisherman just like us. He lives right over here near us here in Marble Hill, or where the shop is. He's a great guy, and we appreciate his support. And you guys need to support him as well. So that's Charlie Adams, Adams Renovations LLC. So we appreciate his support.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to say something too, real quick.
Go ahead.
So I want to say this while Tim is going on his potty break up there, which is pretty funny. We don't take ourselves too seriously here. But one of the things I had mentioned to me when I said, hey, we're bringing Tim from Hammonds on, a lot of people said, why are you bringing in another bait company, another tackle shop onto your show? And so I wanted to make sure everybody understands this. Look, we're all in this together. I don't care where you buy your baits from. I just want you to shop local.
Yes.
I want you to shop local. So, I was telling him, Tim's back now, so I can tell you this. I had some people say, why are you bringing Tim on? He's from Hammonds.
Oh,
Hammonds is a competitor. Listen, we're all in this together. We all support each other.
That's right.
We all support each other. So whether it's Hammonds, whether it's another tackle shop, whatever, I just want to make sure you guys listen, buy local as opposed to these big box stores, because this is the mom and pop stores that really, that's what America's about. That's what supports our local, economy, our community. So again, we're proud. We're proud here at Fish North Georgia to have Hammonds, have Tim from Hammonds and everything. Hey, it is a kick-ass shop. I still say it's probably got the best selection of anything in the state of Georgia. I'm partial.
100%.
I'm partial. If we don't have something, listen, we shop there and I own a tackle shop. So listen, support everybody. Every one of us get together and, just keep it on the local level. So I want to make sure that I took the time for you guys that are watching to understand why we like to have everybody in our community. Again, that's the big word, community, involved with this. Now, you feel better now?
Yeah, I mean,
you feel better now?
Hard as you get older, because you're like way older than me.
What the
hell? How hard
Tim?
is it? Just pay attention. How hard is it to focus when you really got to use the bathroom?
Listen, it
man,
sucks.
that is terrible.
How old are you?
I'm old enough, buddy.
No. How old are you? Really?
I'll be 42 next month.
Okay, you're a kid. I'm 51.
I just said that.
When you get that 5 in front of your name,
Man,
when you get that 5 in front of you,
it's getting worse every day,
that
buddy.
prostate does not work like
getting worse every day. I mean, it's hard to think sometimes. Like you just so much more clear-headed.
You are, yeah, but you know what? You got to go to the bathroom more often.
Oh,
but you also, as you get older, you get a little bit wiser.
Yeah, well,
you get a little bit wiser like that. So we've kind of laid the basis right now for the digital tournament.
Yes, sir.
Now the cool thing about it is, I talked to Tim last week with the announcement of what is the national thing that's going on, the new.
Oh man, the Alabama
Bass Council.
Yeah, them bulls.
Slick Johnson right there.
Man, listen,
he's a good dude.
They have a really good plan, and I really like where they're going with it.
Yes.
I also kind of like how Jordan Lee tore it apart a little bit about the information rule. He kind of said, like, hey, well, what sets me apart from being a really good angler is I go out and I find these fish myself. I just don't get a phone call and say, hey, you need to go over here.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know how that's going to work. It's just, you might as well not put me on your team, because you can get anybody out there that can go catch a fish on a dot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't take a special angler to catch a fish on a dot.
Have you ever met Slick from the Alabama Bass Council?
I have not, no.
We met him down at ICAST. He's a good dude.
Jordan Lee comes in the store all the time.
And Jordan Lee actually fishes with Slick a little bit. So that whole group. So if you guys don't know who the Alabama Bass Council is, you need to go follow him.
Alabama Bass.
That's what he says. It's the Alabama Bass Council. Alabama Bass Council. Go follow them on TikTok. They're good guys. Slick Johnson.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch. He's a good dude. So kind of with that announcement, there's going to be a new professional kind of league where it's more team oriented.
It's owner oriented.
It's kind
of like the NFL, the NBA. It's more focused around that. It's more focused around paying the anglers their worth instead of having to compete for your worth.
Yeah,
like these anglers are getting paid every time they show up, no matter what.
Yes,
and that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It gives people something. I feel like it's another stepping stone in the sport. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Somebody's going to have this idea and somebody's going to make it work.
Yes.
So
did that now we're getting ready to get into your idea for your digital tournament, which is more of a team oriented style.
Come on, Tritt. I need you to go fill up some of them red bassets we have in the store.
Who are you talking to right there?
Justin Tritt.
Yeah.
Justin Tritt. Okay. All right. So anyway, was it that kind of inspired you with this new idea?
I've had this idea for a while, and mainly where this idea comes to is back in the day, we used to have a trophy, East and West.
Okay.
It was an East and West bass fishing tournament. They had a certain amount of teams, and the total weight won. And that's kind of where I've been wanting to do it. But, man, it's just been so busy with boat installs and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't have time to do this. Well, I've started kind of slowing back a little bit, putting a little more focus into the digital stuff. I've been running them a lot more, trying to make sure I'm doing it. And I have all the software. I have all the scales. I have everything to do it. So let's shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do something different. I'm tired of the same old thing. It's the same old thing every single week. It's like waking up, eating breakfast, using the bathroom every week. It's like, man, this is boring. Let's do something different.
It is.
So I'm going to start it off with a 3-boat team deal. So you're going to have each team's going to have a captain. Okay. And that captain is going to select his team. Okay.
Now, is this something he selects before the tournament, or do you have
absolutely no? You're gonna have
to. So he's going to come to you and say, "Hey, look, I got 3 boats.
I got 3 boats. Here's our names." Okay.
Okay. You
create a shared login.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just like you would if you're fishing any old digital tournament. You create a shared login, and all 3 people share that login. Okay. Yeah. And it's really simple. You just communicate with your team. You communicate on your team when you're weighing fish in. Stay out of flyer branch because I'm catching the hell out of them in flyer branch. I don't need you on my stuff. Just simple team mechanics.
Right.
It's gonna be really cool to have a team with a really good largemouth fisherman.
Yeah.
Built in.
So when you do this, and we're going back to the team aspect. So let's say you got 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just kind of getting the gist of it, and you correct me where I'm wrong because I want to make sure I understand it.
Let's understand it.
So 5 teams, they've got 3 boats apiece. This is an example. This is not how he said. This is an example. So you got basically 15 boats on the lake.
Yep.
Now those 3 boats, when they catch a fish, when they report it, it's going to go to that team's total.
Yep, and it's the top 8 fish for this tournament.
That's what I was going to say. How many
this tournament?
For this first one?
8. I know a lot of guys want to do 9 because you got 3 fish per team, but 8 is something that just stuck with me. I feel like what it's going to do is if you pick somebody that's largemouth fisherman, it's going to give them a chance not to really hinder their team. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing
I pointed over at him.
Oh, I've already.
I pointed at him.
I've already thought about strategy. Too bad we'll be in
it's a
Florida
huge strategy
week.
deal, really.
Yeah,
let's just say we go out and we put, 20 pounds and 8 fish in the boat. All right, I've got 2 really good brush fishermen. Now I need somebody just to break off the brush because we're already caught all the damn 3-pounders we can catch.
Yes.
Right? Break off the brush, go hit the bank, marina, blowdowns, whatever you want to do to catch a largemouth. 50 foot like Kevin Underspin. Whatever. It's all good. So
I love you, Kevin.
Yeah, we love you, Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin,
but it's going to take a lot of team chemistry to make that work. You're not, in my opinion, it's not going to be one just on brush.
No.
And adding that 3rd boat is going to set some teams apart.
Yeah.
I already have a couple of teams that are coming, and I'm looking, and I'm like, damn, there's 2 good largemouth fishermen in that team.
Yes.
And that's like, shit, I don't have that on my team.
Right.
I would like to have that on my team.
That's the cool thing is you can set up. I've got 3 boats. These 2 guys are really good at deep water brush fishing, and we've got that largemouth guy.
Call them scopers.
Okay, we've got 2 teams that are scopers.
They're real good scopers.
Real good scopers, and we've got that one guy that's a largemouth guy that is looking for that kicker.
And then, listen, dude,
he's that kicker guy.
Somebody could be down 2 to 3 pounds, and the largemouth guy comes in with a 7-pounder.
So it's the bet. So this first tournament that you're going to be doing August 19th.
August 19th.
When is the deadline to register?
You can register that morning.
That morning. Okay, so guys, if you're in the Lake Lanier area, 3 teams. Pick a captain.
3 boats.
3 boats per team.
Yeah, $250.
$250 entry fee per team,
not per boat.
Per team. Okay.
Yeah. Per team.
Split that shit 3 ways. It's cheap.
Split 3 ways. It's about the same thing.
It's a good time, and you're going to have.
You're going to spend that much money anyway to go fishing. You might as well.
The cool thing about this is, say I want to be a team captain and I want to enter it. I'm going to pick my team based upon, if they're deep, I want a deep guy. I want a largemouth guy. And you can kind of,
who's your best friends?
You can do your best friend. Yeah,
I mean,
screw that.
A bunch of guys will be doing that.
Yeah, but screw that. I want to win.
I picked my particular partner that I'm fishing with.
Are you going to be in it?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, there you go.
I picked my partner because I fished with him for years and years and years, and I know he's a great largemouth fisherman. He gives our team a fantastic chance at catching a big largemouth.
So you got to think about this.
Absolutely.
It's like setting up a football team. Like, okay,
or a basketball team.
I have 5 or 6 people I could fish with.
It's set up a team
that I could just go fish brush with.
Right, but hey, if I fish brush, I got, we might get the 3-pounder, 4-pound spot, but if we get the largemouth guy,
Triffid, you have to be, all 3 teams are going to be in separate boats.
Yeah, you have to be in separate boats. So what he's saying is
3 boats, 2 people per boat.
3 boats, you can fish any part of the lake. But let me ask you this: when they catch a fish, and they do the weighing like we've discussed earlier, somebody at Hammonds or wherever whoever,
I'm going to have a moderator for.
You're going to have a moderator.
Yep.
So they're going to weigh the fish.
Yep.
And then that person will put that for that team.
Yep.
Okay.
But if you have 2 people weighing at the same time, you have to communicate with your team in a group chat. Hey, I'm weighing a fish.
Gotcha.
Hey, weighing a fish. Hey, get the hell out of Baldridge. Jimmy Sanders is in there just eating
Jimmy
everything up.
Sanders, yeah,
All right.
yeah. Jim
So-
Farmer's in Baldridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to
So-
do that. Yeah, I got you.
You know, you got to be in communication with your team. And one thing I'm also going to implement is you're going to be out of town, so you're not going to help me with this.
I'm sorry,
So
man.
I'm working on
Listen,
somebody else.
I'm
Don't you worry.
a movie star now.
So I feel that. Yeah, yeah, I feel you. You got like a little glow to you. But I
Listen.
think it's the light. I think it's the
Listen,
light.
when he told me this, Tim, I was like, bro, I'm excited. I was
Did
like,
we
I can't
not?
wait to
Did
do
we
this
not? When
thing.
he said that he was going to do this, we were like,
I
dude,
was
this
like-
is going to be awesome. And
I
then
was
we got.
I was going to
gung-ho,
give you
and
guys
then
full
Danny's
control
like,
on the questions.
shit,
So
we gotta
let me
go.
get back to what we're talking about here. So we're going to have
You guys pay attention right here.
we're gonna have a 3-minute live interview on Facebook
Yeah.
with a team captain. So each team captain is going to be subjected to a 3-minute interview once per hour throughout the day.
That's
and that
cool.
just something. How's it going? What are you feeling? You guys are in the lead right now. How is the pressure? Just stupid questions.
Where's that going to be now?
That's going to be on Lake Lanier tournament page.
Lake Lanier tournament page is where the lives are going to be.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys, again, make sure on that Saturday, if you're not fishing, you want to keep up with this, Lake Lanier tournament page on
That's it.
Facebook.
Yep.
Okay. We really actually, when you first said about this, we were like, dude, this could be really cool.
It's going to be fun.
And then, of course, we got the call. We got to be in Florida, but
We don't
Sorry.
have. I don't have the money yet
yet.
to do videos and boats. I could put a co-angler, a third person with a camera in the boat to do, updates and stuff like that. But let's be honest. Nobody wants somebody else in their boat that's going to
They
snipe their
don't.
That's
They
going to
don't.
know what they're catching them on. Blah,
That's
blah,
right.
blah.
That's
That's
right.
why we're still local and we're still doing what we're doing. We're not pros.
Exactly.
So, I've thought about doing that for a long time. I thought about having doing a singles tournament and just having high schoolers go with these guys, but I've gotten so much kickback from that where, like a Brad Wiley, a Paul Driscoll, or, an Emil or somebody like that doesn't want somebody in their boat knowing where they're going because it's just such a hush game these days. Still, as public as everything is a community hole now. People still don't want to know what,
I understand that 100%. The thing is, it's hard for another guy to fish another guy's game.
That's right.
But if you know where they're fishing at, that is tough. So the cool thing about this, all right, let's set the basis for this. You got a boat captain with 3 teams underneath him.
2
And-
teams underneath him.
2 teams.
Well, 2 teams. So 3 team total per captain. So
Yeah.
him and 2 other teams.
Yes, sir.
All right. The top 8 fish is what you're weighing.
Yep.
It's what you're weighing. Every so often, you're going to have them doing Facebook Lives on the Lake Lanier tournament page.
Yes, sir.
Kind of, hey, we're here, we're doing this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? General. They're not
Yeah.
going to give you the sauce.
No, just
But you can at least keep up with it during the day.
that's right.
And when you pick a team, if you decide, hey, you know what, I want to enter this, I've got 3 teams, there's strategy involved.
That's right.
And that's the kind of cool thing about it is there's strategy involved.
Let's
because
just say
you want a kicker guy.
let's just say they have when you catch a fish and you in the MLF and you drop a fish on the ground, that's a 2-minute penalty.
Mm-hmm.
If you're leading this tournament after hour 2, that's a 2-minute penalty
No shit.
for the captain.
Really?
So it's just something different. We're trying to
Okay.
shake it up, man. I'm tired of the same old stuff.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How you going to police that?
What do you mean? It's
Like if
whoever's
somebody
leading-
drops a fish.
I'm not worried about dropping a fish. I'm
Oh,
just
okay,
talking about,
okay.
I'm just saying per se, if you're leading after hour number 2, you're
Yeah.
getting a phone call. You're going to do some FaceTime live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So whoever's on your team has to be a part of Facebook, and we're going to do I'm going to bring you in on Facebook Live. We're going to do a quick little interview. It's not a penalty,
Okay.
but it
I
kind of
got
is.
you.
You know, what I'm
I
saying?
got you. I got
So
you.
if you're leading, you're gonna have to give up those 2 or 3 minutes of your day to sit down and go, all right, I got to talk to this guy.
And so that's the cool thing. So I can tell you, what were you going to say, Ryan?
Go ahead, Ryan.
So let me ask. So you're basically like what you're getting at is you're
It's
going
so
to.
dark behind
you're-
him. Look at that.
He is like
He
listen,
like glows
listen,
on the screen.
He wore.
Listen, I had
he wore
you
a black-
centered up on the camera earlier. What are you
he
doing? back
moves
there?
and he wore a
I'm
black
moving.
shirt. So
I'm
all
moving.
you see is that mug right
Listen,
there.
we're running our Spro stuff. Okay, that's what we're working.
Okay.
So let me get what
Yeah.
let me get what I'm asking. So here, so you're basically penalizing. Then when you do your quote unquote your penalty for 2-3 minutes, whatever, you can't fish when that Facebook Live is going on. Correct?
No, well, your partner can.
Your partner can, but you
All right,
can't.
that makes sense.
But listen, It has to be the team captain. You sign up with the team captain. That's the guy that's going to be doing the talking. So you might want to have your team captain as your co-angler, the guy that just ain't as good as the other one.
That would be me on our team.
Yeah, we're putting Danny on that one.
I can talk with anybody, but yeah,
I have to listen.
You got to be strategic.
Listen,
absolutely.
And I
everything about a team tournament needs to be strategic.
Yeah. Okay. What you got, right?
Listen, I have to hit these comments real
Come on
quick.
with it.
Go ahead, hit
We got to get some 30
Let's
seconds.
play with
He's
it.
the man is on a roll right here.
I don't know how much you've been looking at the comments right now. I see you glancing a lot.
We're trying.
Dude, you got some straight up man crushes going on over here. You got people
Danny
calling
is a beautiful
no bullshit.
Danny's a beautiful person.
Somebody said you look like Tom Brady in the
Someone
comments.
said you look like Tom Brady.
I
I've got
don't
2
need that.
different people asking you what's your arm routine.
What's my what?
What's
Your
your
arm
arm
routine.
routine?
All right. I don't have very big arms, okay? But I have been working on it a little bit. I have a guy that comes in, all right, and he does.
2 people that's asked already.
He has a certain routine he does, and I've just been doing it. It's pretty simple.
What's your routine?
At least sometime before you go to bed, you do 3 sets of 100 on curls and 3 sets of 60 on skull crushers.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, your skull crusher's a little different, buddy. So it's really that simple. It's nothing crazy, and you want to do it before you go to bed. You want all your whatever you ate that day. You want that pushing to your arms instead of to your legs and your stomach. Make sense? So when you lay down and go to sleep, you want your arms to be dragging all that insulin and sugar to your. That's kind of the basics. And obviously, Ryan's been skipping arm day.
Hell yeah! So all of us have.
So Ryan's been skipping arm day.
Oh my God, Buddha! What did he say? Chris Pratt
looking at.
Chris Pratt looking ass.
I had somebody cut my hair one time that said that, and I was like, man, I don't even know who the guy is.
Listen, you're a good looking dude.
So,
we're gonna go ahead.
Let's get back to the fishing stuff.
Listen, he's a good looking dude. We're gonna embarrass him.
I had to divert for 1 minute because I've had like 6 comments so far with like people straight up crushing.
That is not an extra medium, buddy. That
he
is a large.
So good looking.
Come on with it.
You got the schmedium on right there.
No, it's a large. You can look at my collar, Bubba.
Now listen, hey, somebody said I saw a comment about the scales being calibrated.
Yeah.
Are all the scales calibrated?
All right, so the scales that I picked are feedback sport scales.
Okay.
And I went through probably 20 different scales to get to these. And these scales are used to weigh high dollar bicycles. That's all they're used for. They couldn't keep up with the amount of scales. Bicycles.
Carbon fiber
$10,000 bicycles.
Carbon fiber bicycles.
Why are you weighing bicycles?
Because, dude, these guys get geeked up about 1 ounce, bro.
They do.
Geeked up about 1 ounce.
Geeked up about 1 ounce, bro.
All right, so I had my scale guy for the propane thing. He comes in and does all of our scales. And I was like, hey, man, I want to see how accurate the scale is. And he used his deal and weighed my scales, the red scales. And he goes, this is the most accurate scale I've weighed all day. He goes, those propane scales ain't even close to what this thing is. He goes, these things are super accurate.
They're legit.
So I have legitimate scales that are done from the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah.
So
they're legit. I've used them. They're legit.
Yeah,
Facebook user wants to know, can the boats in a team basically go to different ramps?
Any ramp you want to go to.
And that's the thing about the digital tournament. You can
ramp.
show up wherever the hell you want to. As long as the line is not in
in Lanier.
in Lanier.
Yeah.
Let's make sure. We're talking about Lake Lanier
and it's
specific.
very easy. If people don't know this, I know every damn cove. Ryan knows every cove. We've been on this lake for a long time. I know what the shoreline looks like. If you go to a different place, we gonna know pretty damn quick.
So you
pretty damn quick.
When you got certain trees in there,
tell if you're on Lanier or not.
That's what's funny.
Ain't no doubt.
And that came up in the kayak world recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a guy was taking pictures of fish that did not look like Lake Lanier strain largemouth.
Exactly.
So if you're knowledgeable in the fish in the area, it's really hard. First of all, you shouldn't cheat.
Man,
but if you do,
that's a good way to get your ass whooped.
God, man.
Good way to get that ass whooped.
It is. And that's the bad
There ain't
thing.
Nobody want Ryan on that ass. He's a big old boy.
Well, he's a teddy bear.
You know,
he's a teddy bear.
Seriously, talking about cheating, you know, and I know I can say this with Tim being here. You remember when me and you were a lot longer, which I'm only like 9 years.
You want to click
10
your
years.
face over so I can see you talking?
Yeah, we want to see
Okay.
you talk. Don't get it off.
Oh, there it is.
There we
Look at
go.
that.
Listen,
What a
I know that.
Tim's just running the damn show tonight.
Listen, I know that, me and you, we both started fishing like a young age and stuff like that. You're older than me, but we both started fishing like
Wow,
hardcore
wouldn't
at a
have guessed
young age.
You got AARP.
If you
shit,
screwed around with the wrong group of people
Dude,
in a
it's not
tournament,
good.
you was subject to the next time you showed up
That's
to a
right.
ramp to go back your trailer and pull your trailer out and pull your boat out of the water. You
Yeah.
go up there and your partner walk back down to come get it and say, bro, we can't go nowhere. All 4 tires are slashed.
Let me tell you something right now. The whole walleye scandal deal, those guys would have not been sitting in that parking lot at Little Hall Park.
No.
They
No.
got that.
I
ass whooped.
cannot believe that it was
boat
not
would have
violent.
their boat would have been unhooked. I mean, those guys took hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars away from other anglers.
Yes.
Like, that's not going to fly, bro.
Yeah. And
Could you imagine?
no, I mean, I'm saying,
Could you imagine if
I
something like
cannot
that happened
believe-
on Lanier? Because everybody's got a phone.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting their ass whooped.
I cannot believe those guys, even after they were pulling the weights out and all that, did not just absolutely get pelted right there.
Mm.
It took a lot of restraint.
Yankees.
Well,
It's
it's
just-
Yankees. In the South, you got your ass whipped.
Yankees.
Man, that's just they do it
Michiganders.
different up there, man.
I got a question for you right there from Matthew Smith. Let's pull that up right there if you could, right there, Ryan. Any plans to make the digital trend a weekend versus a weekday event?
Yes, that's what we're talking about tonight.
That's
So
it. That's
we have a
it.
team tournament deal coming up. It's going to be a 3-boat team this time. I will do some multi-team tournaments, like just 2-boat deals.
Mhm.
And I will do some singles. So my plan is to, once all these jet skis and wave runners and
Gosh, dog.
all the wake surfers, Brian Hinkle,
Oh, Lord.
all these wake surfers, once they get off the water, I will run some on the weekend. But honestly, nobody wants to be fishing right now on the weekends, man. It just sucks.
It's insane.
The reason I picked August 19th was it's in between 2 BFLs. Emil, talked to Emil about it. He's like, man, it'd be perfect because everybody's going to be down here anyways.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be down here. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to have a bunch of Hartwell guys down here, a bunch of.
Are you going to cap it off at a? Is it open to have?
I've got about 80,
how many teams can you do?
I got about 80 working scales.
So
Whatever that is,
25 teams roughly.
if we can get that, man. Listen,
That's
I would
still a
love.
big tournament.
I would love to have 25 teams, but let's be honest. When people start thinking about other teams that's going to be created, because there's going to be some really freaking good teams. I'm on a good team. There's a bunch of really good teams.
Loading up right there.
People are going to stack the house.
That's what you should do, though.
This is going to be.
That's what you want to do, but it's going to be fun to watch, man. I'm
think
going to
so.
be excited to sit there and watch everything. I'm not going to be watching videos that day. I typically don't watch videos whenever
Because you're fishing.
when I fish a tournament.
Right.
I will watch a couple just to make sure the kids are doing it right. But I have a couple of good kids that do it for me.
Yeah.
And I let them moderate that, and then they'll call me and say, "Hey, this guy's being a dick," and then I'll call them and deal with it. It happens. It happens more than what you think. They're like, "Man, I'm doing every damn thing right. I've been fishing this lake for 42 years." It's just it is
a lot
what it
of
is.
them like
that
that.
there
It
is
is
a
what it is.
lot. That's what I've noticed in this since we've been in the
It's like an episode
fishing
of
game.
South Park.
It is awesome. Pull that next
Here's
one.
a great.
Facebook
Here's a
here, yeah.
great question.
Scott
for
Barn,
Tim.
you can kiss
Well,
my
we're
ass.
going to go to Scott. I'm going to pull Scott's up,
Yeah.
but let's get this one. Do all people on the teams have to show up to sign in?
No, I just need the captain.
Just need the captain.
Need the
Okay,
captain.
so
He
there
can
you go.
distribute the scales, but you kind of need to be there because I want you ass in the shop. Buying
Go
some
buy
stuff.
some
I mean,
stuff.
Go
come
buy
on.
some
We ain't
stuff.
doing this just for the good looks. We're doing this because we need to make money.
Again,
You know what I'm saying?
again,
It's fun. It's all
Support.
fun.
yeah.
But we created the digital tournaments
A Vision 110.
to make things happen during COVID too. Like
Yeah.
we've been doing it since 2019. Then COVID hit, boom, and I'm like, the only thing we could do was they weren't giving any permits out. Digital tournaments, I was having them every week.
That's why I say you do not have to have a permit for a digital tournament
No, because
because
it's
of the
going out of
way.
the store.
It's,
They can go to any ramp they want.
see, that's the cool thing about this.
Yeah.
You do not have to mess with the core.
So when
Go
you,
ahead.
They're the
So
worst.
when you get to
I
the,
They
know,
are. Dude,
I
it's
know.
not that they're the worst. It's just
They make it hard.
they look. I talked to one
it's
guy.
got more difficult.
I talked to one guy. He had 5 jobs just to keep his job. He had to take on 5 more jobs just to keep his one job. Well, he can't keep up with all the paperwork.
Yeah,
And then you're like, man, I just need somebody to call me back. He ain't got the time. He's out here chopping wood.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
But it is what it is at this point.
But
you know?
it's the way they were. Pull up Scott's comment. I just want
Let's
to.
just not
I
do
love
that.
Scott.
Let's not
I
do
do.
that.
Let's
on
pull it. No,
down.
no,
It's
pull
back
it
down.
back down.
Oh,
Go-
there it is.
There we
it is.
go.
It's up, yeah.
Is it me, or does
See
Tim
it
look like
again.
Tom Brady? I mean, minus the talent, fame, and money, but does kind of look like Tom Brady.
Man,
Do
what
you
a-
get-
what
let
an
me ask you this.
absolute bald-headed young man. Like
That's the mayor you're talking to.
he has the most impeccable bald head I've ever seen.
He really does.
It is the brightest and the shiniest. I don't
it
know
is.
what he does.
It is.
It's got to be like mop and glow or something.
And let me tell you what, his wife is the better
Ooh.
half of that couple
Dude,
right there.
she is how that happened.
Yeah, he
Have
absolutely.
you saw his picture of back when he got her?
Yeah,
He actually was pulling the
listen.
deal right there.
All I'm gonna tell you is
But buddy, he went downhill.
his wife works with my wife. All right, so she is absolutely the finest
I
of
love
people.
you, Scott. I'm just messing with you.
Finest of people. But Scott absolutely outpunted his coverage.
Oh, there's not even a question.
He outpunted his
Not even a
coverage,
question.
and I don't know how it happened, but he ought to thank the Lord every morning when he
Man,
wakes up,
I bet he does.
because
I bet
he
he does.
absolutely outpunted his coverage right
I
there.
bet he does.
What's the entry
Tim
fee?
hold on, yeah. Tim needs to make automatic Facebook Live. Needs to be out in front of Bocella that week.
What's the team entry fee for this tournament? Scott Barnes, I love you.
250, right?
250
$250 per team. So three
Per team.
boats.
3 boats,
So
split
you
it up.
break
It's
it down.
affordable. Man, you still got gas. Listen, everybody's like, well, we need to make higher payouts. Listen, you're going to get 5 boats in that tournament.
Mhm.
I've been running tournaments for years and years. I run them on the weekends at $80 and $100 because people can afford that. It's getting expensive to live these days. All right.
No
Tackle
doubt.
is getting expensive. Gas is expensive. We already know. It costs $125 to fill your gas tank up just to go from Laurel Park to the dam and back. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because being in the industry, a lot of people say, "Oh, you own a tackle shop, you're making all this money with tackle." They have no idea what it costs.
Yeah, sell a bag of worms for pennies on the dollar every day. And
Thank
see
you.
what happens.
They have no idea what it costs.
You know, man, I could run a $500 tournament, and you're going to get 3 to 4 boats.
Yeah.
Listen, Cabela's has come in and done it. The one lady tried to come in and do it. She couldn't get enough boats. It's just people already know when they sign up that they're giving their money away to somebody, but most people want a chance at it.
It's a
And
gamble.
they can afford a chance to beat it a meal, a little Paul, a Brad Wiley, a Paul Driscoll. They can afford a chance at $80 a boat.
Yes.
They can't afford a chance at $250 a boat because they're going to sit at the house and watch it online.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So to get more people out, we keep it as affordable as possible. We're not making a living catching fish anyways. Some guys are, but you're not making a living on the weekends catching fish. That's just not happening.
If your mortgage payment depends upon you winning a weekend tournament,
That's right.
you probably shouldn't be fishing the weekend
You got
tournament.
it all twisted. You
Yes.
got it all twisted.
100%.
Listen, if you had a brand new
100%.
little baby girl and you're trying to pay for diapers, you're doing it wrong.
I got to win Sunday, or
trying to
I
play
won't
the
be able to
lottery,
buy
you're doing
groceries
it
this
wrong.
week.
But there are guys out there that believe that.
100%.
And
I've seen it. I've seen them come and go too.
Good
I've seen them
Lord.
come and go.
We're sitting
This
there
is
going
not
like,
this is not the kind of game you want to get into if you're trying to make money. Since I started, you can ask my wife, you can ask with any person I fished with. You can ask Emil, you can ask Rob, JJ, all those guys. Okay. Daryl Strayhorn, you can ask them all. It's not about the money.
Right.
It's about the glory. You want the glory.
I'm glad you said
You
that.
want the glory. You want to wake up in the morning and you want to feel fantastic because you just won a tournament. There's no better feeling.
And to win a tournament on Lake Lanier with the quality anglers that are on there, if you win any tournament, that's something.
You're doing something.
Because even in the pot tournaments, there are a lot of local guys that are not as well known as others. They know the lake.
You got an East Hall Bass Club this weekend that's got
Russell
15
Bottom, Scott
sticks,
Worley.
Yeah.
15 guys that's
Yeah.
been out there all week practicing sticks.
Yeah.
Guys you probably are never going to have a chance at beating. And you're playing for maybe ninth.
You know what? What's funny is
Big deal, dude.
I fished East Hall last year, and one of the tournaments, a 2-day tournament, we showed up the first day. We had 17 or 18. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a good day for me.
That's a great day for everybody.
Well, it was good enough to finish 12th that day, because
Yeah, that's
then you got guys pulling in 22, 21. What did we have that day, Ryan? Somebody had like a 24, 25 pound bag of all spots.
It was in March.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, he had that on the last day. It was Ty Overmeyer's partner.
yeah,
He done that by himself after he dropped Ty off too.
which is
That's
totally
fantastic.
So
man.
that-
what a day.
that
What
goes
a
to
day.
showing what Lake Lanier is.
That's right.
That you can go in there and catch a bag of. One day you could catch largemouth.
Mm-hmm.
The next day it could be 5 spots, and you're over 20 something pounds, and you're like, dude, that's legit. That's like big, which kind of pissed me and Ryan off. when
Yeah,
we saw
I was about to
Bassmaster.
ask you that. Do you are you like us? Are you pissed off at that kind of pissed off at the fact that Bassmaster said that Lake Lanier not only isn't one of the top lakes in the country, it ain't even the top lake in the state of Georgia.
So here's what we got. Did you read it?
Are we taking the Savannah River out of the equation?
No,
Here's what they did. They had what?
Go ahead.
They had
They had
Hartwell ahead of us.
Hartwell.
I can
Sinclair?
honestly, I could see Sinclair.
Eufaula?
Get the hell out of here.
They had
Eufaula,
Sinclair
get the
right
hell
there.
out of here.
They
Who wants to
didn't
go
even have
catch? Who wants to
Oconee
go
on the
catch
list.
1-pounders on Eufaula right now? Anybody can. Hey, get on this chat. Talk to me. Who wants to go catch 1-pounders Eufaula right now? Nobody wants to do that.
Of the top 100 lakes in the nation, when they broke it down into the southeast, they did 25. Of the 5 lakes that either were in Georgia or bordered the, Hartwell, of course, is Georgia, South
Right.
Carolina. Lake Lanier was ranked 5th.
I mean, I would say
But then they said, hey, it's the greatest spotted bass lake in the nation.
I can give it 2 right now because Hartwell is fishing phenomenal.
But would you rank Lanier underneath Eufaula
Hell no.
or Sinclair?
Let's just be these guys. These guys are
It's
sitting behind a
asinine.
desk. These guys are sitting behind a desk. They're pulling up a few term reports here and there, and they're going,
They need that sign took down.
yeah. Well, let's just put Eufaula because we go to Eufaula, so we need the commerce to give us, the Board of Commerce or whatever. Well,
Yeah,
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
That's
to
the
give us some
ones
money.
that are giving them the money to go there. So they're going to Hartwell. City of Hartwell gives tons of money.
Yeah,
to
Anderson,
BASS and all
South
that stuff.
Carolina is
Dude, they
all
kill
up
it over there. Of course, those guys are going to be able to. All that is a little rider
Yes.
trying to bead something up
Yep.
to absolutely nothing. So we're going to look past that.
So, but it's hard to look past it.
Hey.
We got a bias.
This guy probably has never fished a tournament in his life.
Every one of their.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Let me ask you.
Good.
Does Eufaula need to uproot that sign out in front of it that says "Big Bass Capital of the World"?
100%.
Thank
That
you.
place is an
Thank you.
absolute poop hole. You might as well go to Oconee.
Seriously.
You can catch more fish at Oconee than Eufaula is terrible, dude.
Oh look, there's Brett. He showed up. We already mashed on you, Brett.
He must have landed early.
He must have landed early. We had a couple other questions right up
Let's see.
here.
Let's do some questions since Danny's doing old man things.
So I'm gonna go back up here just a little bit here. We had, whether you want to answer this or not, Derek White wants to know who's on your team.
That's none of his business.
Okay, it's none of his business. We'll stick with
We'll
that.
start with that.
Let's see. Guess the winning weight for the first tournament. Are you
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of different things. I'm gonna give prizes out to the smallest 8-fish limit, which, hey, listen, there's a lot of guys that's gonna be in the running for that, and it's gonna be fun for them, man. It's just something different, If you suck and you're sucking, dude, I've been there and watched the leaderboard, and you suck that day. To have something to go for is gonna be fun. Let's just say you're just not catching a whole bunch of quality fish. Well, you can turn everything around and go for the smallest 8-fish limit. We got 2 tournaments in one right there.
What did I miss?
3 tournaments in one. Danny,
All right. Here's the
relax.
here's the next question. How long is this tournament? How long is the time?
From 7 to 2.
Okay,
7 to 2.
Yes, sir.
7 to 2. Okay. All right. So
I like how he insults me 1 second and says "sir" the next second.
Yeah, I give my props where I can
He
give
is
them.
so polite. What did I miss? Really, I had to go do a bathroom break.
we just asked a couple of questions that was the tournament related. How long was the tournament? And,
Yeah, just
Okay,
we're answering
all right,
questions
listen,
right now.
I got-
Keep
I
going
got-
through
I
them. Let's
got
see, there's a
ease-
bunch of damn
I got-
questions on there.
oh,
Now, let
there's
me-
your question right there. All right. Can you reverse cull to a smaller fish?
No, you cannot.
Why would you do that?
You can't. The app
Because
will not allow you.
Because he is doing a winner for the smallest 8-fish limit.
All right. So if you're going to try to
okay.
win smallest 8-fish limit,
You do have that.
you need to go into that right off the rip. So if you're paying $250 to get your entry fee back,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to sit at home.
Why? Okay. So you're going to give an award for the overall weight. How many places are you going to pay it? Does it depend upon?
It depends on how many people show up.
Okay, so let's say you got 20 boats.
20 boats will probably pay 4 boats. 4 boats, yeah.
And
4
then,
teams.
And then the smallest 8
Yes.
limit. I might qualify for that.
But you got to go into it.
Do you
You have to
declare,
look halfway through the day and go, hey, I might have a chance to do this.
Do you have to declare that? Like I'm
no,
fishing.
you don't have to declare
Okay,
that.
you don't have to
But
declare
you
it.
have to completely switch your whole entire team down. Listen, dude, you're going to have 6 people on your team, total 6 people on your team, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have to get, hey, guys, we
Catch.
suck. Do you guys just want to go for our entry fee back and get some gas money back or what?
Yeah.
And then they have to make that, that if they're not making it very well and they can see that, like, man, just a couple more 1-pounders
Yeah.
and we can be, and listen, with the digital tournament, that's the beauty.
What's
They
going?
don't-
That's
They
I
don't,
would be
they don't
he-
have to be,
I would be hella.
What's
they don't
going-
have to be 14 inches.
Ooh.
Oh, let's explain
Okay.
that.
All
Here
right,
we
so let's talk
go. There
about
we
this.
go.
So
Let's
Ooh,
talk
I didn't
about
know
that.
that.
I've had people weigh in fish that they can barely get the gripper in its mouth. And I'm like,
So no 14-inch limit.
no, there's no limit because you're not keeping them.
I like it.
But it's not going to help you unless you
Unless
really
you're fishing
suck.
for that smallest.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's talk about that real quick. Ryan,
Yes.
where can you go catch an 8-inch fish?
Danny's bedroom.
We're not talking about 4-inch fish. All right.
Well, yeah,
go with 8-inch fish.
you're being generous at the 4-inch right there. You're being generous.
The easiest place, in my opinion, the easiest place to go catch a fish that is less than 10 inches
yes,
is
Kim.
probably like way up chest T.
Okay.
That
So
would be my opinion.
you're going to have to, if you're in this tournament, you're going to have to absolutely, if you're trying to get your money back for that smallest 8-fish limit, you got to have to switch gears completely. 100%.
But
it's a tournament within a tournament, and you're going to have to go, guys.
I like
listen,
that.
quit
I like
catching
that.
big fish.
but what's
You
going
know?
to but what's going to
Catching big
happen? But what's going to happen when you're like, all right, we suck, and you tie on a Ned rig with the smallest little dinky worm that you can get, and you catch a couple of 8-10 inches.
Hey, listen, that's
Listen.
part. Hey, listen.
Listen,
don't
but
weigh
then
in,
all of a
throw
sudden
it
you
back.
stick
At
a
that
freaking
point, just throw it back.
4-pounder, and you stick a 4-pounder. Then
You
what
don't.
do?
You throw it back. You don't count it.
You don't count it
Okay,
if you're going for
okay.
the smallest fish
So-
limit. So there's a
so,
lot of strategy that goes into
Hickory
that.
Flat, real quick. OMC. That's Mr. Drew. It is 2 people per boat.
I think Drew's half drunk.
Drew.
Two people.
Yeah, you
I
got to
can't
have
even
somebody in the
find
video.
hold on, I can't even find an 8-inch fish up chesty right now. Wow,
You know, now there was a recent
sorry?
tournament
I sorry.
from a club.
Bro, if you can't go up
That-
chest and catch fish,
Let's just say a guy behind the monitor runs. He had a lot of guys that caught 10, 15 fish that Saturday. Not a lot of them were keepers. They caught a lot of short fish. But in this tournament, they could weigh those things in
Weigh
right
'em in.
there.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
as long as the fish can be connected to the clipper.
Yeah.
You can't squeeze the head. You know what I'm saying? You can't squeeze his brains out just to put it on you got to be able to put it in his mouth and clip it on.
Okay, so in this tournament, you're going to have a team format, depending on the amount of boats as the first, second, third,
Mm-hmm.
and then you will have a smallest 8 fish.
Yeah, it's got to be a limit.
Got to be a limit. Got to be 8
Yep.
fish. Smallest 8 fish, and pretty much you're getting your entry fee, your gas money back.
Yeah, just something.
Just something.
Oh,
All right, listen. Let's just say you sucked all
We're
day.
gonna be
right?
in Florida. I
let's
would love
just say
to fish
let's
that.
just say you sucked all day. All right.
Right.
You didn't weigh in but 2 fish, and they're both 220s. Now you can turn the flip, maybe tie on a rooster tail or something. And
Just catch those other
just go try to
6.
catch some small ones at a boat ramp or something. You know what I'm saying? And try to get your money back. It gives the people that have no contention in the tournament something else to do. And I've noticed that in a lot of these tournaments, man, I've watched people docked at Port Royale. They're like, I can't beat those guys. And they just go get a margarita or something,
That would be me.
Well, there's guys.
But now there's opportunity.
love-
There's opportunity now.
There's
So
opportunity.
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
completely shake it up, do something completely different.
I like that. How about this
I
question here?
absolutely love the fact. Hold on. I absolutely love the fact right now that y'all are so convinced in the comments that there are no big fish shallow. There are absolutely no big fish shallow.
Don't
Yeah,
be
well,
fooled
I
with
would
that.
not- I seen a
They're-
damn bunch of them last
They're
week.
there. They're
Bunch
there.
of 'em.
I just love the
They're
fact
there.
y'all, there's so many comments right now. It's like
What's
there ain't
this?
no big fish.
You don't have to fish
spot.
20
Keep
foot.
telling
Biggest
yourself
spot
that.
you caught on Lanier and bait you.
Yeah, I wanted you to do that. Money
It's,
Bass has it. Pull that up, Ryan. So the biggest spot you've caught on there. What
Okay,
bait
so-
did you use?
It was right close to 7 pounds. It was a spot, and I caught it. Even I fishing with JJ. We were practicing.
Jason
okay?
Johnson.
Jason
for those
Johnson.
of you that don't know who
Right,
JJ
big
is,
JJ.
Big
Big
JJ.
sexy. Big
He is a big dude.
Big sexy.
Big
And-
sexy.
We were on a pole marker, and I tied on. We just had some laser lure jerk baits painted. This was many moons ago. That's
are
where the
you
red bill
serious?
would flash red,
Yes.
or the bill would flash red.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
So-
God.
I tied this thing on. I just had it done in herring. I had them made some. Mike Lopez done me some in like Lanier herring, right? And I tied that sucker on. I threw it off the back of the boat, and I was just kind of like just slowly winding it. And I went. I was like, oh man, I got a striper. I was like, this is definitely a striper. And it come up and jump. And JJ's like, oh God, that's a giant. That's a
Right.
giant. And I finally got that thing in, and it was absolutely ginormous. Like it was so fat. And it's 100% the biggest bass, but it was not in a tournament. So the biggest tournament spot I've caught
Yeah.
is a 622. I've caught 622, 621, 619, 604, 603. I've caught a bunch over 6 in tournaments. But the biggest
Listen to that flex right there.
biggest tournament spot that I've caught was on a drop shot.
On a drop shot.
Yep.
Which is funny because a lot
And
of people.
back when we caught
a lot
him
of
on a
people
drop
say that's
shot,
a smaller one.
every time you threw it, you were catching a fish. They didn't know what to do with it. They had to eat it.
I have a
it was,
feeling I know
you
when
caught
that was.
fish all day long on drop shots and nobody was doing it, and you just had it all to yourself.
I have a feeling I know when that was.
When was
So-
that, Ryan?
I don't know. Do you want me to? Do you
Yeah,
want me to
go ahead.
guess?
Let's see what you got.
Do you want me to guess?
Yes.
2010.
It's around that time, yeah. That was back when the drop shot was really starting to come in, and Cody Meyer had
Cody
told
Meyer's a
JJ,
great angler,
He
yeah.
said, "Listen, dude, you got to be throwing this drop shot."
Pull that question up right there. It says Facebook user. All right. So it's what if you don't have enough friends, Lo, can you fish 2 boats if you pay the
You
full entry fee?
100% can fish 2 boats, but you are at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
100%.
You could probably fish 1 boat, but you got to compete against 3 boats.
Yep. You can fish as little boats as you want, but when you're up against a stacked 3-man team, man, you can fish 2 boats 100%. And I'm not going to not say you can't,
Right.
but man, you're going to be at a disadvantage.
Yeah. So let's just say you had you in a boat, Emil in another boat, and say just a Harold Grizzle that's a largemouth guy in another boat. That's a stacked lineup. If you're going against that by yourself, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one team, Jeremy Eaton,
Yep.
J.R. McKay,
Yep.
and Josh Maddox.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a stacked team.
Yeah.
That's a stacked team to catch fish on brush and wolfpack fish.
So that's the thing is you in the team aspect, you've got to kind of think, all right, big picture. You've got one team that is extremely good on deep fishing. You could have a guy that's good on intermediate level, and you got a guy that's a shallow guy.
Yeah.
If you're going against that by yourself, you got to be on the fish.
You better be on them.
You better be on the
You better
fish.
be ready to roll.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What makes Lake Lanier so special that it has the ability to put on this type of tournament where you can have a largemouth guy, a spot guy? What is it about Lanier that's so special?
We kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do.
you got to realize
with-
I got to create TikToks out of all this.
I get this. I think a lot of it has to do with the lake has been up for
Mhm.
so many years now.
Yep.
And when it stays up and it doesn't do that super fluctuation that we used to have, I think that has a lot to do with the largemouth population.
Right.
So
1000%.
we just have these largemouth have been in the same pocket for 5 years now, spawning in the same pocket over and over because the lake just hasn't fluctuated.
Yeah.
We've
And the
had
fry- and
really
the
high
fry had a
levels,
place
which
to
makes a
hide.
huge difference. We had a lot of grass a lot of that grass is starting to die off because it's just older grass now.
Mhm.
But I mean, what would help, honestly, is to have another big rainy season in March again and have these things spawning up in people's grass.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
helps big time
Yeah.
because we don't have grass.
Yeah. Let me ask you this about Lake Lanier, being in the tackle industry and a fisherman yourself. What changes have you seen as far as the lake over like the last 5 years, and where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
The lake or the business?
Either or.
Because the business has completely changed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going more to forward scan bait, forward scan this, all this stuff. I mean, your crankbait sales, your jig sales, your spinnerbait sales, all the stuff that all these great anglers that we've grown up knowing that have just kicked our ass doing, they're just none of that stuff is selling like it used to. The stuff that's selling is the forward scan stuff. Every high school angler that comes in, they're getting forward scan stuff.
Yeah.
They're not buying spinnerbaits. They're, unless, if I lived more, if our store is more towards Oconee, completely different story.
Yeah.
Completely different story. You're still going to throw a white bladed spinnerbait. You're still going to throw a Colorado spinnerbait. You're still going to throw a shad wrap. You're still going to throw a square bill. You're still going to throw the shit out of an Alabama rig. But that's just not how it is up here anymore with this clear water. I mean, it's just everything's changed.
Yeah. What do you think about the high school tournaments as far as how they're run and how they're changing fishing in general?
Well, before Thomas Hammond passed,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, we were seeing a huge change. We're seeing a lot of people die off. 2008 hurt a lot of people. All those guys that had all these expensive bass boats, they lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
2008 was rough.
Yeah.
We did great in 2008 because a lot of those guys just went fishing because they had no work. He was really concerned that we're not getting any of the younger generation involved. And he really put a staple on that with me saying, we got to get the younger generation involved. So, that's why I went to Scott Beard at North Forsyth. And this is all before really the high school fishing kicked off. And we started running tournaments for high school tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
and Scott really built something. What's what Jesse runs now. Jesse Millsap runs it now. And he built that up very well. And it started clicking. And the guys that run the GHSA now,
Right.
they're the guys that really started the big time high school bass fishing stuff.
Yeah.
And man, they do it right.
If you could change one thing about high school angling as it exists right now,
If
what would
I
it be?
could do one thing,
Yep.
I would make it absolutely mandatory that you had to pass a course that the Alabama Bass Council or the North Georgia Bass Council or somebody like that created for these captains.
Mm-hmm.
How to back a boat. I'm
Amen.
talking about the simple stuff.
No,
Come on.
shit. Yeah,
Come on.
Come on, talk.
Come on.
Fish care.
Come on.
I'm talking about like the simple things in life that culling fish.
Come on.
You can't fish in a tournament with the kids.
Yeah.
Even though they suck and you can catch them, you can't fish. Like I'm talking about make it mandatory that you pass either an online class or a physical class, like going to get your hunter safety course.
Yes. Yes.
You have to pass a course. I understand it's hard to find captains for these kids. I get it. But man, the problem is there's so many captains out there that have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
He is
Zero.
preaching to the choir.
And
right
we're
here.
talking about like, I'm watching captains drink on the boats with these kids. And it's
Really?
like, what are you doing? Like the kid, they're going in between you and the bank because they just don't know what they're doing.
Stupid.
So
Thank
make
you.
a course that
I want to
really
be the
just
director.
updates. You need to be the director.
I want to be the director.
That would be great. Start something up.
So, Chris Taylor,
I
I
might.
don't know
You
why
never
you owe
know.
me $20, but I'll take $20 any day if you want to just send it to me. Good seeing you. That's the thing we've noticed. So we've been kind of paying attention to the high school.
Yeah.
And the biggest complaint is not the kids.
Nope.
It's not the format. It's the captains.
Yeah.
It's always about the captains, and it's about etiquette, and it's about the adults not showing the younger anglers
All right. So
the
very
proper way
concerning.
to
there are so many fantastic young anglers
fish.
out there. They can catch the crap out of a fish.
Yeah.
They're really good with live scope, or they're really good just tuned in. They got gills in the back of their ears, just really good anglers, right? But at that age, you're so impressible. You're so like you can be impressed very easily from an adult. So if you have an adult telling you, "Oh, it's okay, we'll just cull that dead fish," that's that sets up with these kids for a lifetime. Well, my high school coach, he told me it was okay to do that. We did it in a tournament, so they're going to continue that on down the stretch. Like, if you don't teach these kids right now the right way to do it, and you can ask my daughter, we can bring her on right now, and she was like, "Dad is a dick." Dad is a dick.
I like that though. That's the way it goes.
Sure we do everything properly. Like, I had a fish, they gut hooked it. It 100% 2 years ago, they would have been second in the state at the state classic. They gut hooked it. I knew it wasn't going to live. I had a feeling it wasn't going to live, but the best chance for that fish to live was to put him back in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't put that fish in your live well and then have him die, and then you're out another pound. We only missed second place by a pound that tournament. That would have done it,
Mm-hmm.
But that was a hard lesson to learn, because we fished all day really hard for that fish. Is teaching them young, man. That's just the proper etiquette of bass fishing. The stupid little small things, the drive, the getting up and getting off your damn phone, getting up, getting on that trolling motor.
Yes.
Doing it as quick as you can, hustling, bustling, being proficient throughout the day. That's what these captains need to be teaching these kids, not how to call a dead fish or be drinking scope on their boat.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys literally drinking scope on their boats. Like, that's not teaching your kids anything.
Wow.
It's insane when you get around 400 plus boats in these tournaments. Because we just got back from Wisconsin, you see some pretty stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You see some guys that literally are scared to death of a bass boat, but they're doing it for their kids.
Yeah.
And that's not teaching the kids the proper way of doing it.
I think that's pretty cool, having some standards.
Yeah.
But there's not any. There's really not a set.
There's no professional standard for that age group.
Yeah.
And to have something like just some kind of class, man, just something to, and listen, this is not for the guys that think they know it all. This is just for the guys that want to learn. There's so many anglers out there that want to be on a bass fishing team that their parents are like, I have an idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go buy you a bass boat and do this with you because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
They're scared of it.
Yep.
Create a class. And I don't have time for this. Okay. We'll leave this up to Ryan. I don't have time for this, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
There needs to be a class for the proper thing on how to show up one day and back a boat in the damn water. How hard is it? And listen, there can be guys, jet ski owners, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
They can take that class.
Yes.
We need some kind of class to teach people the proper etiquette on bass fishing. And there is none.
I agree 100%.
There is none. There needs to be somebody at Laurel Park. Somebody needs to hold a class at Laurel Park. And it needs to happen at Gum Branch. It needs to happen all over America. People will show up and people will pay you $50 a head to learn these simple, stupid little things. What am I doing wrong? I cannot get this thing backed in. What am I doing wrong? My live wells won't work. It's stupid little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these parents are scared to death of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got guys that are like, they look at me, they get out of their trucks, they're like, I'm so screwed.
Yeah.
Because I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you need to calm down. It's like, what's
to
wrong?
breathe.
What's wrong? He goes, my boat
breathe.
won't come off the trailer. I'm like, did you unhook the straps on the back? It's that simple.
It is.
My boat won't crank.
You're right.
Did you put your kill switch in?
Yeah.
Stupid little bitty checklists that people can keep on their phone as notes. Stupid little things
it's
that would make the whole high school fishing thing so much easier.
And you've got a daughter
Easy.
that participates
Absolutely.
in it. And so you see this.
It's easy to us, Ryan.
I know, but
It
see,
is.
the thing about it is like you. I know you're kind of like picking at me about teaching it, but if I was to teach something like that, the first thing that I'm gonna say to anybody is listen to me good. I'm be standing on a boat or something, and everyone's around me. I am not here to belittle you because I was where you were at one point. I didn't know how to do these things, but I know how to do these things. Let me help you. Let me teach you. Let me show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's the teddy bear coming out.
But
See how
seriously,
smooth that was.
You know what it
Look
is?
at him. He
He's
says he needs a hug.
He is
Getting off
6'7".
He needs a hug.
But I tell everybody he's a teddy bear.
He needs a hug.
He needs a hug. Ryan has to be hugged. Again, Hickory Flat, yes, 2 people per boat in these tournaments.
Good Lord, Drew.
Drew, I don't know what you're doing, Drew. We know that it's you. 2 people per boat on these tournaments.
Yeah.
we didn't have high school fishing when we grew up, but
I didn't either.
It's blowed up.
Big
It
time.
has blowed up. And in fact, how many boats were there on the Heart World tournament?
It was
the championship?
480 something.
Yeah, it's a lot. So the one we fished had 400 in Wisconsin.
And that was
a
in
lot.
Wisconsin. So just kind of in your mind, think 400 boats. What percentage of those guys were really proficient?
I mean, I would say maybe 2 to 3%.
Really, that low?
No, absolutely. Like it's bad. I've seen. I look at my daughter and I tell her, I'm like, listen, you don't have a chance today because if you look at that boat right there, those kids are fishing so hard.
Mm-hmm.
They want it. That fire. They have that fire. You don't have a chance because you don't have that fire. And I've watched that spark go like boom.
Yeah. That's it. High school fishing is where it starts. If you don't get those kids then,
yes,
they're going to be the
I started
adults that don't care.
in 2004.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was a whippersnapper, bro. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, had no idea. The first 4-pounder I caught in a tournament, I caught it on a damn buzzbait across a line. I thought I was going to lose it, and I was devastated that I was going to lose this fish. Like, that's where these kids are. They have no idea what to expect in these situations. That's why these captains need to be well versed.
Yeah,
they need to be well versed on the stupid little things. It's just the stupid little things that could go a long ways, man.
If you could change one thing about bass tournament angling, what would it be?
Bass tournament angling, and we already touched on that. 100%, I would make a bass boat with no live wells, dude. It's just keeping fishing live wells is not good for any fish. 100%. There's not even a question. It's not just because I run digital tournaments. I've ran other tournaments for years and years and years and years and years.
Right.
You know, I've run tournaments for as long as I can remember in the bass fishing world. That's the one thing I wanted to do as soon as I got into bass fishing. I'm like, I want to run a tournament. I'm going to run it better, you know. But when you're talking about June, post spawn, putting a 3.5 pound spot or a 3.5 pound sickly largemouth in your boat, it's done. That fish is not living after you've caught it and ran it around the lake for 8 hours. It's not going to happen. I don't care what the hell you do.
Yeah.
That fish is sick. It hurts. It's not going to make it. It's dying. Okay. That's a problem for the fishery. Do you imagine how good this fishery could be if we did not have live wells in our boat? Just imagine for 2 seconds how good this fishery would be if we didn't have a tournament 3 to 4 days a week and they weren't just drug around in their live well. Could you just imagine how freaking awesome it would be?
Yeah.
It's astronomical. That 3 to 4 pound class that we all like, man, we got to, if you're not catching 3.5 pounders, you're not even catching a check.
Yeah.
Well, now it's 4 pounds, right? Imagine if we didn't have these live wells. You're talking probably 5.5, 6 pounders because they're living longer. Let's just take 15 4-pounders. Okay. And we take 15 4-pounders per tournament. Let's average. 15 4-pounders are going to get caught in most tournaments.
Yes.
Okay. East Hall this Saturday, there's going to be 15 4-pounders weighed in 100%. You take those fish and you kill them. That's the future 5-pounder, 6-pounder. That whole class is gone. And you do that 3 or 4 times a week all year long.
Yeah.
You're totally screwing this fishery. And
I don't know
how good it is.
I don't know if I want to say anything or not, but
go ahead.
I don't know if I really want to say anything or not, but
well, say it. You wouldn't step up if you didn't.
I used to fish East Hall, but we chose not to fish it this year because I'm running my trail that I'm running, you know. And anyway, hindsight 2020 though, I was there 2 years ago when the comment was brought up at the first meeting before the first tournament. July and August, should we limit the fish to 3 fish limits? And outside of that, you know, should we change it to allowing 2 dead fish? And y'all may hate me for this, but I guess I'm going to crucify myself. There was so many people who were like, hell no, we just keep the same way as always been.
Well,
right.
And I'm not going to name no names, but there was several of us there that were kind of like, what the hell what are you saying? You know, I mean, I understand that, because I'm a traditionalist, but I understand, that part of the strategy of tournament fishing, if you keep them in the live wells, is managing your fish, is keeping them alive. But the price of digital stuff is, that's the way things are, and the proficiency in digital stuff is now is, you could keep some fish. Tim may disagree with me. He may not, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree if we want to. I think you could keep fish like, October through March. And then, maybe when it identify it sometime in March when there's a lot of fish on bed. And when we pretty much come to an agreement, there's a lot of fish on bed, maybe in March or April, and then cut it off after that. Then it's nothing but digital catch and release.
Right.
But I mean that, but like I said, we can
I got a
agree to
rebuttal. I got a
disagree,
rebuttal
but-
to the bed fishing time.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I love bed fishing.
Mhm.
Man,
It's exciting.
There's nothing like it.
It-
It
right.
really is nothing like it. Just learning how to catch the bigger fish. It's always fun. Being with some of the best bed fish. I fished with some of the best bed fishermen on this lake. I mean, they see golds different in their eyes. It's a great time to be out there doing that. Just imagine if we had digital tournaments during bed fishing season and you didn't catch those 5 and 6 pounders and bring them 10.5 miles away from their house where they're laying, where they're protecting their eggs. Okay. Just imagine if we didn't move those fish, how good this fishery would be.
Mhm.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Because
right.
when you let one go, it usually goes right back. It might not immediately, but if you catch and release it, it's going to go back to where it was as long as you don't mess with it again.
Right.
And it's going to most likely spawn again. But you take that fish that let's just say that 6.5 pound female that could have been at 8 or 9 pounds.
Mhm.
Okay. You take that fish and you run it all day in your live well because you caught it first thing in the morning. Because what are we going to do the first thing in the morning on bed fishing? We're going to go to our biggest fish. We're going to catch our biggest fish. Okay. And you run that thing around and she's sick as hell. She ain't ate in 3 to 5 days. She doesn't feel good. She just got rid of all her eggs. She's going to die. She's not going to make it. Just imagine. During bed fishing season, we didn't have tournaments on this lake or they were all digital. That's a big difference in this fish population.
Right.
Massive difference. Then you got guys that don't know how to catch fish still going out catching fish because there's just so many fish out there to catch.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just astronomical the amount of fish we kill every year, and people don't even blink an eye at it.
Because just because you let it go doesn't mean it's going to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to let it go 10 miles away from the ramp after riding in your boat all day at 7 hours. I mean, that fish is not going to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been on the back of the boat going, man, I don't know if this 6 pounder is going to live. It's really on the edge. Or you bring it up and it's got one gill flapping and the other gill is like sucked in because it's dead. It's
Right.
got one gill just barely moving. I've ran tournaments for years. I've seen fish come to my scale and I've given them, 30 seconds to 45 seconds to move a gill. And I call them dead. And they're like, no, that thing was alive on my boat. I mean, listen, we're killing fish.
Mm-hmm.
We're 100% killing fish, carrying them around our live wells. There is no way to get around that. If you argue that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an absolute idiot.
So you would be a proponent of going digital or measuring the length and letting that fish go 100% of the time,
You take
if possible.
If we could, it would be great.
Yeah.
All right. We have the technology.
Mhm.
We have the scales. We have everything we need to do to make these fisheries great.
Mhm.
Okay. You're going to start seeing this come down the line. I think sooner rather than later. You're going to see where lakes are going to go to catch and release only. It's going to go. People are going to look at all the crap that's happening on Table Rock now. They don't give a damn about fishing. Okay. You're going to see some of these things start being implemented into all these lakes. It's going to happen.
Right.
It's the future of our sport
Mhm.
because nobody wants to put the money into fishing. All they want to do is sell houseboats. They want to sell marinas. That's where all the money is. The money's in wakeboard boats and all that stuff. Those are the people that are really driving this lake with all the money, the taxes from all those guys. You go to a wakeboard boat. I mean, the guy's putting $250 in gas. That's taxes for the government right there.
Yes.
What is bass fishing doing? I mean,
I got you. Yeah.
they're not doing anything for us.
I got you.
So
we got several questions.
it's really on us to make it better.
I got you. All right. Pop them out.
We got a couple questions. I can rebuttal this one right here. Tim can chime in right along with me. The cost of scales will be hard for a large scale tournament.
I've got 100.
Huh?
I've got 100 scales.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's not cheap.
It sucks.
It's not
cheap,
but
the price
how
on
bad
some
you
of them
want
is
it?
starting to
Yeah.
come down.
How bad do you want it?
Right.
Yeah.
It's worth the investment.
Yeah,
If your mindset is, I want to make sure this fishery stays top
that's
notch.
what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to make the fishery better. And if you're not trying to make the fishery better with us, I've got a whole group of friends that every time they see said person holding up 5 fish, riding around all day just for shits and giggles.
That's where I was.
Let's just not do it.
That's what
just
I was
be
going to
smart.
ask you. What do you think about the
Nobody
guy
cares that you
that
caught
does that?
5 fish.
Thank
okay?
you.
Nobody gives a damn.
Yeah.
Yes, you had a great day. Fantastic. Okay. Did you do it in a tournament? Probably not. You probably just out there farting around, putting 5 or 10 fish in your live well, just trying to act all cool. You know why? You know why, Danny?
Yeah. What's that?
Because they don't have the proper raising. They don't have the people teaching them how to do this stuff properly. Okay. That's
Yeah.
the deal.
It is.
100%.
We put that question out on TikTok. Do you agree with guys who are not tournament fishing, but who catch 5 and at the end of the day hold them up for picks?
Oh my
And
God.
picks only. And you would
Yeah.
not believe the guys that
They
most guys
strict
said,
us.
yeah.
They
Most guys were like, yes, you shouldn't do it. But then you had the guys that said, mind your own business.
Yeah. Well, listen.
You
listen.
know,
I-
we can
you
do.
have the
We
guys
paid
that
our
say-
license. We can do
Then
whatever.
you have
the
the
hell.
guys. Well, what is that license fee doing? It's
Yeah.
not putting fish back in the lake.
Right.
100% on Lake Lanier. They're not putting fish back in the lake. You know what they're doing? They're putting stripers in the lake. Go do that with all the stripers you want. They're getting repopulated by the government.
Right.
That's not happening with bass.
It was amazing.
The guys that eat bass, that's fine, dude. Eat you a couple bass.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but if you want to make the fishery better, you need to start somewhere.
It was absolutely eye-opening to see. Most guys were like, yes, don't do that. But some of the guys were like, I pay my license. I can do what I want. Mind your own business.
You can't tell me
You
what I
can't
can
tell
and
me
cannot
what to do.
What is this?
Which one is that?
Was there Emil's watching? I doubt that.
Emil
He's got
is
better-
watching.
Oh,
he's got
Emil-
better
Oh,
things
Emil
to
is
do.
watching.
Emil's
He's got better
watching.
things to
No,
do. He's watching.
Emil is friends with us. He'll
Man,
watch.
he got them little girls running
Yeah,
around him. He
is the best looking-
girls.
Oh,
Listen,
buddy.
he's got that hair flowing out from
Man,
under the
it's-
hat
It's
and
just,
his toes.
it's special.
He's got his flip flops on. You know, his
It-
toes. It's just. I mean, I
It's
like
special.
Emil.
Here's a good question right here, though. Talking about this since we're in the live well mode for the last 15
I think
minutes.
that
we got.
can't
terrapin's
see it.
catching
You
up.
What's
with me.
Tim's opinion on the new live well chillers, available on some of the new boats?
Man, there's so many different new things coming out, which is fantastic. Trent, he just installed a G Juice
Yeah,
dispenser. Like, that's badass. That's
It
the
is.
things we need to have. But listen, that's happening on 1% of boats.
Yeah.
you're right.
So is everybody going out and getting a live oil chiller for $500? Probably not.
You would know if they were.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
know.
no, they're
Because
not.
I'm not getting calls for it. I run a tackle shop that 95% of the people that fish on this lake come to, and I'm not getting those questions. That's why there's certain rod companies I don't sell because nobody's asking for them.
Mhm.
Certain tackle we don't sell because nobody's asking for them. You know, I got guys coming up from Oconee going, "You ain't got this." Well, it's not Oconee, bro. You know, it is what it is.
I like that. That's
You know?
true. That's true.
So
Let me
keep
ask
going.
you.
Let's keep. Go ahead.
Let me ask you that with that. Where do you see the tackle industry going in the next year, 2 years, 3 years?
Man, it's just like fishing, man. Everything is evolving. If you
Mhm.
don't evolve with it, that's why we have an online store. I
Mhm.
mean, if you don't evolve with it, everything is going virtual.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to sit like we're sitting right here. You know, they're gonna grab their brewski, they're gonna get on their phone, they're gonna be like, yeah, I could use that. Well, I really need that. And the reason a lot of people order online is not just of sheer convenience, it's for privacy.
Mm.
It's for privacy. I've done it myself.
Yeah.
I'm
You don't
not
want to. You don't
stupid.
want to know what you're buying.
Yeah, I don't want everybody to know what I'm buying. But now you got all these kids working that go to high school that work at Tackle Warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and they see what everybody's buying because
Yeah.
Tackle Warehouse is shipping out of Cumming now.
Yeah.
So that should stop a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to sign up with your wife's name. Don't sign up with your own name and your own shipping address. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
There's so many different. It's just tricks of the trade.
A
man.
lot of guys will
You
come in
say
here
that.
and they'll spend
Tricks of the
cash.
trade.
They'll spend cash because they don't want a record of what they're buying.
Exactly.
They don't, and most of them will say because they don't want their wives to know what they're buying. But still, they don't want anybody to know what they're buying.
So you got all these guys that really catch the shit out of fish. You don't see these guys in the store buying the stuff they're catching fish on.
Yep.
All right. When you see these guys, they're traveling to other tournaments. They're going to other lakes and they're coming in and buying the stuff they want. That's really where it's come down to.
Yeah.
You know, you got your guides that'll come in and buy stuff, but you know, your people like Emil, little Paul. I mean, all these guys out there that are catching the shit out of them, they're not buying what they're catching them on in a tackle shop. They're buying them online for privacy.
Yeah.
And then they're coming into a tackle shop because they're going to Lake Kiwi or something.
Yes.
And that's really what it's coming down to. It's sad.
The secrecy.
The secrecy is what it is. It's always been the secrecy.
Gatekeeping.
I used to go into the store and buy stuff that I wasn't catching fish on just to throw people off. That's what everybody does. That's what everybody's been doing for years and years and years. They're buying shit that they're not catching them on it, and it is what it is.
I love that somebody will say that.
I will never forget. Listen, I don't know, Tim. I know Tim don't remember this, but I remember this. It just jogged into my memory. I remember one time I came into Hammonds. This was probably like 12 years ago, and I thought, yeah, I got a tournament this weekend, and you checked me out. And I laid some stuff down on the table, and you looked at me like at it, and you started ringing it up, and then you looked up at me like,
please.
You don't do that shit. And then you kept bringing me
Ain't nobody.
I don't know if you remember that.
Nobody stupid around here.
I
don't know if you remember that.
I like that.
I remember you gave this look at me like, I know you.
You know what though? I'm glad that you were honest enough to say that.
Yeah, it happens every day.
Yeah,
every single day. And it's
everybody is trying to throw everybody off the trail a little bit.
But it goes back into the future of our business. The future of a bricks and mortar store, just man, it's just. Do I see a future in it? No. You know why? Because of the secrecy. Because people don't want you to know what they're buying. Plain and simple. But then you have some guys that just want to catch fish, and they'll call me they'll say, "Hey, listen, I want all this shit," and they'll buy everything. They'll buy everything they need for the whole entire year in like 2 trips. You know, you got those guys, which is beneficial. We need those people.
Yes,
you already know.
Right.
Foot traffic is the number one thing that drives a brick and mortar store. So when I'm starting to depend on online sales, man, that sucks. Like I prefer to sit down and talk to people about fishing. I help people every single day about fishing, you know, but I'm not seeing near as much as that anymore. It used to be, buddy, when I was in the store, I had people lined up waiting to talk to me. Like, what do we need to do? Why are we doing this? Well, how are we doing this? Is there a certain trick you're doing? Would you shake your head?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that anymore.
Right. Right. So, I agree. So we're getting on about 1 hour and 50. I told you to go quick, but I want to absolutely give you the opportunity, of course, because you are with Hammonds, to kind of give yourself a few minutes to kind of talk about your store.
I mean, the store's slow right now, just for the simple fact that school started. It's every year, usually January and August. Those are your 2 slowest months of the year. And then because it's either hot or stupid cold, nothing's going on. Pretty slow. You know, after Christmas, nobody's out spending money. You know, if they're spending anything, it's going to be a gift card. When school starts, back to school clothes shopping. Nobody has any money for tackle. If they do, are they hiding it?
Yeah, that's right. That's
100%.
Right.
I mean, I got guys that come in and pay with cash every single day, and it's just they're hiding it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm fine with that. I love those guys.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
But man, it's just
what do you see as the future? What do you see as the future?
We really need to dig in to as much as this digital stuff as we can to see where it's going to bring us.
Yeah.
I don't know it all. I'm trying to know it all, but I don't know it all. I need help from everybody to help figure out what we're going to do with this. That's really the main thing. I get ideas from people every single day, and I don't shoo them away. Right. I don't think people understand how many hours that we put in to perfecting and trying to make this the best we can. I've seen a lot of comments talking about, well, there's people cheating. Well, there's people cheating in every tournament, man.
Absolutely.
They're going to cheat in track and field. They're going to treat
it's human nature.
It's going to happen. It's just on us to catch them and deter those kind of people.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. So As far as tooting my own horn and stuff like that, I'm not going to do it. I want people, if they have ideas, to bring them to us. I mean, that's all we can do is ask for help. Let's make it big.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the best we can to make the fishery better.
Yeah.
Because it's all we have. There's not another Lake Lanier around here.
Mm-hmm.
Not in North Georgia.
There's not.
So there's not another Lake Lanier.
Let's
do the best we can to clean the trash up. If you're going down the lake and you see a trash bag, turn around and pick it up, man. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Have some love for the lake. Help us keep it clean. Help us keep the fish good, and roll. That's really.
If someone wants to fish in this tournament coming up August 19th, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can call the store,
which is Hammonds.
If you go to Lake Lanier tournament page,
yep,
my number's posted underneath the deal.
That's on Facebook. That's on Facebook.
I'm not going to do that here. Just call me.
Yeah.
You can Facebook message me anytime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm typically up 24 hours a day, as it seems like.
I
answer a lot of questions, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
So just hit me up and ask any questions. If you have any questions, you can't get in touch with me, ask Danny.
Yeah. There
Ryan.
you go. We'll put you in the right direction. Well, I want to thank you, number one, for coming out.
Yes, sir.
And fun. Doing this. And again, like I've told everybody.
And I'm sorry for the guys we didn't get to all the questions, but
I've seen a bunch. It's like that.
We didn't get
to if you got questions we didn't answer, hit me or Ryan up, hit Tim up, whatever. We'll do our best. The big thing about this episode that I want everybody to know is, regardless of where you shop, we are still one community and small business.
And what I think a lot of people don't understand is how connected all these tackle shops are with each other.
Yeah.
We all drive business to each other. We all are in a working relationship.
Right.
Sherry's Barbecue, Buford Dam Store, Oakwood, everybody's on the same page. We try to be on the same page, and creating that unity makes it better for you guys.
It does. And if you think in terms of kind of, you have an abundance mentality, there's enough to go around, but you can learn from each and every shop. And again,
that's right.
I will tell you this. We own a tackle shop here at Fish North Georgia. We shop at Hammond's. We don't have everything. We go to get that. And I will say this, I'll toot your guys' horn a little bit. You guys have the best selection around. It's just, you guys have a hell of a shop. Great location. So again, we want to promote the entire community of fishing here in North Georgia. That's what it's all about, regardless of whether you're on Lake Chattooga or Allatoona, Lanier, whatever. Get rid of the big box stuff. Support your local business. That's just the way it is. You'll get more information. I'm promising you, if you go to Cabela's, the guy's not going to be able to tell you what's biting on Lake Allatoona or Lanier, whatever. You go to these local shops, you get the local knowledge, and that's just where it's at. So I want to thank you, first of all, for coming out here. We appreciate all you guys do. I think this digital tournament, and I think Ryan will second me, that's a cool ass concept.
If we weren't going to be gone next week, I'd be there.
If we weren't, unfortunately, we're going to be in Florida. I'm sorry, we're just going to be in Florida.
We'll be at the next one. You going to do one in the winter?
I'm going to do a bunch of them. This is not something I'm taking lightly.
This is not a one-time thing.
This is something I'm going to really push this fall to see if we can get better traction on it. And everybody's been clamoring for weekend deals, man, but it's just hard when you got kids and I'm off in Wisconsin constantly, or we're camping. Right. It's hard to run these things. So I am teaching a bunch of kids at the store to run these things in the proper way to do it. And most of it I can do from my phone. Mm-hmm. So it's not a big deal. I can be out of town and do this, and I can still do it from my phone.
Right.
And if they have any questions, they can call me. So I'm going to be running a lot more of these, because everybody wants to see themselves on Facebook, and everybody wants to see themselves on the leaderboard. Seeing yourself on that leaderboard is special.
It is cool.
Nobody understands it until it happens.
You're absolutely
Nobody
right.
understands it until you're in the lead.
I agree 100% with that. But, really seriously, for coming on tonight, taking a couple hours out of I know you're busy.
That happens.
And for doing this. But again, you guys go and check this tournament out. I think it's really cool. Hey, if you got a chance to fish, get you a captain, get you some teams, get in touch with Tim, and go fish it. And we'll just see how it kind of morphs from there.
Progression, as long as we're going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, Ryan, you good with everything?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, look, hey, again, thank you guys for watching tonight, all your comments. Again, this show is nothing without you guys making the comments. and of course the guests. It's not about me and Ryan, it's about this community. And again, Tim Hammonds is a very integral part of this community. So again, very important part. You guys go support them guys, not only with your time, but with your dollars. We appreciate you guys. Hey, again, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, especially YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. And we're going to be, I think next week, we're not going to do a show because Ryan and I will be fishing in the Gulf next week, filming 2 episodes for the Real American Road Trip. So, hey, we appreciate it. But again, support your local tackle shops. We love you guys. We will see you in 2 weeks on the backside. Our next episode of the Real American Road Trip comes out next Monday at 9 o'clock on Waypoint. Again, you can look on the Facebook, YouTube page to find the channels. We hope you guys watch it. We hope you guys enjoy it. And again, you guys go to Hammonds, say hey to Tim, tell him, hey, we watched you on Fish North Georgia. Let them know you saw it here. So we guys appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.
Look at this. Look at this big teddy bear, Barry. Look how big
listen, that gum Terrapin's catching up with me.
He's such a big
The Terrapin's catching up with me. I'm slurring.
Oh,
So let's go home.
Great.
Let's go home.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.